right after. So even early birds might be here at 3 o'clock. All right, thank you. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so glad you could make it. Thanks for being so accommodating and kind of spreading out at the table. We just asked that because we're going to have different activities. We're just talking at the table, and we just want to make sure everybody always has a buddy to talk to, and that one table isn't rowdier than the other. That's the way we kind of spread out. Just another quick little housekeeping piece is that we are recording over here behind Marjorie's head. The recording is aimed towards us because we are always working on our training, trying to improve it. So if you don't want to be on camera, don't volunteer to come up here and start doing something. But as long as you stay in that area, nobody will ever notice. So now for the training, why are we here? What is this about? It's about making caregivers to take care of partners. And our training is based on a woman's research and experience named Tifa Snow, which looks like about half of the people here know her, half don't. And she has a little bit of a different approach to training and just understanding dementia. It is fundamentally based in person-centered care. And everybody knows about person. What Tifa's trying to do is help us find some concrete ways to do it, to get there in person-centered care. So it moves from this whole big philosophical dream we have to reality. How do you actually make it happen? So that's what it's about. Her background is she's an occupational therapist, over 30 years of experience. She's worked with children, traumatic brain injury, then moved into supporting people with dementia. And that was kind of her natural skill. So today will be a nice, big, broad overview of her training techniques and blocks. So that's Tifa. Me, I'm Leslie. I do not have over 30 years of experience like Tifa, but I come from an assisted living memory care background. And I started, around 1998, I started. And it was real different back then of what assisted living looked like and what it looks like now. When I started, independent looked like independent. Now, today, independent is really assisted living. It all kind of moved over one. It's a shift. And dementia training becomes even more important and valuable. You just can't get away with just doing bingo and birthday parties and doing some trips to the mall anymore. You gotta have one. So that's my background with it. I did a little bit of activities. I've done a little bit of oversight memory care and worked a little bit with dining and helping them understand the changes that happen with dementia and how do you feel with it, because it's really different. So that's my background. My background. Let's see. I started working with Tifa and Positive Approach about 3 years ago. That's when I originally started doing training. And I'm a mentor trainer with Positive Approach. I have a history in dementia care of individuals, and I work with my personal career is 35 years in creative art. Okay, so I did Broadway shows. We'll just put it out there. So there will be singing and dance. And then so when I started, I went, gotta do something else. This is tough. New York City theater arts is a tough career. And I was like, there's more to me than this. And I had a history of my family and some other things like dementia care. And I ended up becoming a personal dementia care partner. And then I started working with arts organizations in New York City, particularly like the Metropolitan Arts and Dance organizations, who all have programming for people living with dementia and their partners. So I've worked with them a lot. And then I've been working with Tifa now for a couple of years. There you go. And here's one thing, is with my background, sometimes during the day, I may start role playing so you can see or have an experience with someone living with dementia. It's part of our training. And if I approach you or do something and you're not comfortable with it, give me a timeout. That's all you have to do. And it's okay. It's okay. Just, I might mess with some of it. Only if people live with dementia. We only do what they do. Yeah. That's not much. All right, so let's get started. So that's a little bit about us. We want to find out about you. We want to find out in a different way. I don't want to just tell you your resume and job. So what we're going to ask you to do is to take one of your handouts, anything, just look it on the back. You have a blank sheet of paper. And what we're going to ask you to do is go ahead and do a hot dog fold. Do a hot dog fold for it. And on the left side, what I want you to do so that it's blank. It's blank. We want the blank side. You get that's a hot dog. Maybe. A hot dog fold. A hot dog fold is what we want, just so that the blank side is on out, because that's the side you're going to write on. So don't fold it so that the words are outside. That's all you want. On the left side, what we want you to do is write your name, because we have short-term memory loss up here, and this way we will be able to remember your name. Just on one half. Just half the paper. Just on one half of the paper, write your name so that we can see it. On half of the paper, and then on the other half, what you're going to do is you're going to draw the shield. So just draw the outline of the shield on the other half with the two lines. Okay, this is about dementia. Anybody feeling like they're having a little dementia going on here? We're doing our job. Thank you. Draw a shield. Just with the two lines, not the words, just the outline. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We want you to build your shield. You have to be able to build your shield. And what we're going to ask you to do is put pictures, images, icons, no words. Say it with me. No words. I've been doing this training for a long time. Believe me. Let's say it one more time. No words. Pictures only. In the first section, up at the very top, it's going to be a person of influence. And I'm going to give you all the instructions because I'm going to give you time to think through it. Person of influence. This is a person who made you who you are, that really made an impact in your life. I wouldn't be where I am without Susie. That's the person you want to draw in that picture. The middle section, that band, you want 3 representations of things that define you, your personality, your skills, your traits, your values. What makes you you? Not whatever your name badge says, but what really makes you who you are. 3 pictures, 3 representations. In the bottom section, 3 objects that define you. So in the middle, it was like your traits and values. At the bottom, when they see me, they see my dog. It's always me and my dog. So I put my dog in. Things that are associated, objects that are always associated. People think of you, they think of this object. Okay? First one picture, person of influence. Next band, 3 things that represent who you are, of course. The bottom, 3 objects that are associated. You got it? Good. 3 minutes to draw away and no words. Serious. No peeking, no cheating, no. halfway. Minute and a half. Seconds. Five seconds. Stop. Fabulous. Great job. Pins down. Pins down. Ah, wonderful. Before you even start talking, take your paper and pass it one person over. Everybody just pass your paper. One person over. Put circles around. Yep. Excellent job. Pass your paper. Everyone should have another person's paper. You got it? All right. No talking. No words, no talking. God, this is going to be a fun train. All right. So now, what you're going to do. There's a cheater. What you're going to do is now that you've got someone else's shield, this is who this person is. This is their story of their life. You're going to share their story with people. You're going to look at this other person's shield and you're going to say, hey, this is Mary. And you're going to look at that and you're going to tell that table who they are. Your table will have 3 minutes. So don't hog up all the time. There's other people at your table. And go. Start share. Oh, hey, hold on, because I know, and it's going to be. When the person is telling your story, go for it. I'm going to go with her mom. It's the person of influence. Find you. I'm going to say the word. Family. Cat. Dog cat. What she loves the most. So, yeah. Nice work. Okay. 2 minutes.
Michelle Wilbur.
One minute. 1 minute. I'm working on it. All right. Okay. We're good because they stopped talking. We're good. You guys got done even ahead of time. So, how hard was it not reacting to someone else telling your story? So here's the first question. This is about confession. How many people still said, did something, moved something, and gave feedback? How many people couldn't sit there quietly? There seemed to be a lot of movement. So how was it? How did it feel having listened to someone else tell your story? Just one thing from this case.
I didn't feel misunderstood.
Felt misunderstood. What about that? Go around this way. How did it feel to hear someone else tell your story? I want to make sure. So what happened? Because I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume they didn't get everything right. What was going on inside? What was going on inside of you when someone is saying something about you that's not right? Anybody have any physical reaction? You got tense. You got anxious. And how do you know you got anxious? Was your mind racing? Were you doing a lot of talking in your head? Were you correcting them inside of here? Anybody start squirming or trying to give them, shoot, look at me, look at me. It's really hard to hold back when someone's not getting your story right. We want to do something. Anything else that people did? Who spoke up? It just came out.
There was, for me, there was a self-judgment about, I should have known that better. My thought should be more obvious. If I had any idea that somebody else was going to have to interpret this rather than me tell it, I would have drawn something different. So there was that kind of self-incrimination.
So for Dot, first it was self-judgment internally of that's not right, and you can't do your job because I'm not good enough. And then because she felt like she wasn't good enough, let me do something about it. I can fix it. You can fix it. I can fix it. Give me more time. Anybody else? You do anything? Yeah. I felt like happy dance. Was it a celebration for you or for the person saying? Celebration. Ignore what's wrong. Focus on the positive. All right. Now the flip side of that is when you were telling someone else's story, did you notice anything about that person that gave you some feedback of, okay, I'm on track for, no, that's not right. Let me change it up. What did you notice? Yeah. Ah. So you noticed the smile. Even though most people are like, nope, I didn't say anything. I was like a rock. People gave you a cue, a visual cue. Yeah. What about anybody else? Were you even looking at the person when you were telling their story? You were looking at them. Anybody not look at their person and think, I'm just going for it. What else did you notice? What other cues? What did you notice visually about the person? If they use words, if they did any kind of movement, to let you know, am I on track or not? Am I right or not about your story? Nodding. Head nodding. A whole lot of cheaters in here. Head nodding. Ah. Some people just shut down. So you didn't give anything, but were you processing in your head whether it was right or wrong?
Yeah, I felt like they're gonna have a bad picture. Like you thought wrong with the food.
We don't judge. We don't judge here. What's associated with you, we don't judge. So it was pursing of the lips, not you, but the other person we were talking about, of trying to hold back. So tension in the face, in the mouth, for them, that's what they noticed in the other person. Oh, yeah. Did they look away with an eye roll? Oh. But looking away, loss of eye contact with it. How many things we were noticing, and when you saw these things happen, these behaviors, you took it as feedback of giving the information of, am I on the right track, am I not? We took these behaviors as feedback. Now, we're here about dementia. So the person whose story we're now telling is a person living with dementia. And what do they want? What do they want to do? What do they need? Where do they need to live? What do you need to eat? What do you need to do to fill your day? We're telling a person living with dementia story all the time. And so what are they trying to tell us? How do they try to communicate with us when we're on the right track? And it's like, yeah, you're giving me just what I need. And how do they communicate with us when we're not? The first thing is, do we see any of these? Do we notice any of these? Do you get smiles from a person living with dementia when, yeah, I met you, I knew what you wanted, and I made you happy. And you get a smile. And you get the head nod. The tension in the face. Do you ever notice that? And what do we do when we start noticing the feedback a person living with dementia gives? You backpedal. Well, like that's not right. That's my behavior. How many times do we look at the behaviors not as trying to express some communication to us, but behaviors that need to be stopped and controlled? Thinking about a person living with dementia, how do they express themselves? When we're not getting their story right, what do? Frustration. How do we know they're frustrated? What do they show us? Aggressive. What does that mean? I hit you. This isn't working. I don't like the way you're taking care of me. Coming in. I got Margaret's name now. And what do we say? What's the question we ask? What's wrong with them? Why do people go to training? Can you tell me what to do to get Margaret to stop hitting me? We look at it as behavior and not feedback. But we all do it. I'm giving you feedback of, are you getting my story right or not? Are you meeting my needs or not? What are other ways people living with dementia give us feedback? Not just hitting, yelling, get out of here. Is that all you've seen is hitting and yelling? They cry, they pace. They stare at the face, they disconnect from you. You're sitting there talking to them, and they won't look at you. You can't connect with them anymore. There's a whole list of behaviors. What we want to shift from is when all we see are behaviors in front of us, we're caregivers. And we focus on how to control and change. How do I fix that? How do I stop that? They're annoying. They're just pacing up and down. How do I get them to sit down? Tell me how to get a person to sit down. Tell me how to get a person in the shower without them getting it. When we start seeing these actions of another person, we start shifting to becoming care partners. It's a two-way street. It's first, what is this person's point of view? What's their story? What are they trying to tell me? What are they trying to express? The best way they know how. How many people here are really good at drawing? How many people are really good at like hot dog fold? Bam, I got it. The lingo, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know what you're doing. You're asking me to do something I'm not good at. And that's where a person living with dementia is. I don't understand what you're saying. Just for everybody who's driving me crazy. Hot dog fold. Hamburger fold. Just so you know, but it's just lingo. But it's lingo that people living with dementia, they struggle with. Pull your pants down, huh? What? And so it's their point of view. What is their point of view? What are they struggling with? I'm not so good at something, but I'm still trying to communicate my story. And then it's us looking at what they're communicating to us. How do we perceive their point of view? What story are we laying on them? So that it changes from looking at behaviors to expressive communication. A person is trying to express something to you. So for the rest of the day, we're going to be digging into looking at something we're so used to calling behaviors and saying, what are they telling me? You're trying to tell me something and I'm not getting it because you keep cursing at me. Okay. And turn around and look at myself like, I'm the idiot. Let me figure it out. I can figure it out. So that's what we're doing. And we'll also do it through connection, communication, and care. That's a nice thing. Okay, so we talked about the person. Oh, what am I? Well, we always want to know where the heck is dementia. Tell me about this dementia. What's going on? So what do you hear? What's the first thing people think of? What's the first thing people notice when we talk about dementia? Memory loss. Yes. Repetition. Repetition. What else is jumping out there? What do you hear from your families? People that you're serving, how you're getting these clients in the beginning. Hygiene. Can't get them clean. They won't take a shower. They won't bathe. They won't change their clothes anymore. Who are you going to say? Poor judgment. They're making that. They think you can go off. So here's the picture. Two men, guy with a normal brain, guy late stages of Alzheimer's. The guy with the normal brain died in an automobile accident. The guy with the brain with Alzheimer's, some sort of complication with Alzheimer's associated with his death. They were the same age, the same height, the same body build, the same circumference around their skull. They looked the same on the outside. When they died, this is what they found on the inside. This is the source of dementia, right here. This is what we go through. So how many people have seen these kind of brain scans, brain images? A lot of people, yeah. And yet, so much of the conversation is about the behavior. Well, heck, yeah, if I look at this, I look at that brain, I don't question, like, why are they so repetitive? Well, good gracious. I can see, because what does the brain control? The brain controls everything. And when this brain is dying like this, it starts making mistakes. And what we see are the mistakes in action of the brain failure. But how many of our caregivers get trained on this? They don't. But this is what you're caring for. You're caring for a person's brain. This is what you're trying to manage. And we tell our staff, we'll be kind and patient. Did you smile? It's not about smiling. So I had this really interesting story when I was flying here. I was telling Kathryn. So I was trying to work with my nose, and I had on my little handbell and stuff. And I was sitting next to a woman who peeks over, you know, and you kind of look at the handouts and all the brain files. And as a stranger sitting next to somebody on a plane, you're kind of looking like, huh, what do they have going on there? So she turns to me and she says, well, what do you do? Are you a nurse? No. I can't do that. But I was like, I'm a dementia care trainer, you know. And when I say dementia, I don't always assume the late person is dementia. So then I throw in all. And she says, oh, yes. My mom has that. She's so repetitive. What should I do? You know, she's like, what should I do when she keeps asking me the same question over and over again? She went straight to behavior. Even when people see the changes that are on the brain, she never asked me, what's happening in that brain? She couldn't go there. It was just, how do I fix the behavior? How do I stop the behavior? When you're on an 1.5-hour flight, you don't start going through a 6-hour training. She said she goes with the flow. I said, great. That's great to go with. And I kept it moving. But for us as professionals and as we try to get staff and frontline staff to support this person, we can't skip this part. We need to know more about the brain, more about what's happening with brain failure. So just for our quick clarification, confirmation, what is dementia? At least 2 parts of that brain are dying. Something's triggering, something has started this cascade of brain failure. It's progressive. It's chronic. It's chronic, so once you got it, you got it. All those great herbs and coconut oil, let it go. By the time this cascade starts, you do it when you're young. You eat healthy when you're young. That's when it's already started. And then it's progressive, and that soon as you get used to, you get a routine of, okay, now I know how to help you, it changes. It's always changing, so we always have to be adapting. Assessment and adapt. It's going to get worse. The speed and rate in which it gets worse is based on the type of dementia I have. But it always is. And then, if this is about brain failure, and my brain is dying, it's terminal. So can I live without my brain? No. What does the brain control? Everything. So by the end, it's the whole system failure. It's breathing, it's swallowing, it's all of that. The brain can't manage anymore. So we start with this reality, not about behaviors, but what are we really dealing with? And when we look at, we'll start asking the question of, okay, now you're telling me at least 2 parts of the brain are dying. When we start talking about the parts that first start dying, what caused them to beginning, then we're getting into the type of dementia. Dementia is just that umbrella term of 2 parts of my brain are dying. It's chronic, it's progressive, it's terminal. Now, what does that mean? What does it look like? Well, it depends on if I got plaques and tangles. It depends on if I have a vascular issue. It depends on if I have a traumatic brain injury and end up with frontotemporal lobe dementia. How it happens can happen over 100 different ways. It's amazing we don't have more brain cells. Powerful. That's what we get into. So the first thing I want us to just kind of pause and think about is, because we all support people in different ways, people in different stages of the progression of dementia. What's one behavior I'm used to looking at and just saying, it's a behavior. How do I fix that? How do I stop that? And pull back and ask, what is this person trying to tell me? When you think about people, persons, individuals that you serve specifically, thinking about behavior, how do I translate that into expressive communication? I am it. It's a thing for yourself and others.
If I see one of my clients, I see that they're asking to get out, I step back and think about those problems later. And, then the next step is to do is about it. I can do that with to do that to self-wise. But then I didn't do it.
Even an either or. Get out doesn't necessarily translate into okay, don't get me out, or I don't have to take this every time I go in here.
Half the time they're misunderstood and they think I'm going to misunderstand them as well, or I'm forced myself on them. So I'm getting it.
If you can save past anger. Anger is a very primitive emotion that we share out, but it never stands on its own. There's always something under anger. There's always something driving anger. Most people don't want to push through the anger, especially if they're not just saying get out, but if they're cursing at you and they're throwing racist words at you and they're spitting and kicking at you, those are like, I'm out. But it's pausing and saying something's going on. You're frustrated. And one of the things that we'll get into this more down the road is that when you see someone expressing anger, oh, I just got it out.
Why are you asking me to do something while I'm chewing, Leslie?
No,
I'm going to calm down. You do this all the time. You're such an idiot. You can't even see what I'm doing.
when we see anger, we're going to get uncomfortable. Let me help you. Have you ever been angry and somebody was like, "You'll be okay"? Anybody ever said that to you when you are pissed off? I just think about that. And it's a whoa. It's reflecting. At first, I gotta let Kathryn know, I see you, I hear you. You are pissed off. So when she comes at me angry,
Leslie, why do you always do that to me? You can't see that I'm chewing?
Kathryn, yeah, you are not Kathryn.
I am not.
What I do.
No, I'm not.
You come in and you match your emotions just a little bit more. Don't escalate them, but match it just a little bit to reflect. You're not happy. I see it. Valid. Without saying, so you're not happy.
No, I am not.
It's reflecting it, and then we'll go and bring it up. But it's a key step when you see anger. Don't go in there with your little flowers and roses like, I'm sorry. Well, we're making cookies. I don't make it all together. It's a pause of, it's okay to like, oh shit, I messed up. Who did it? Because what happens when someone says that to you? It's automatically like, well, yeah, it's about time somebody started listening to me. Great lesson. That was a great example. So with that, we kind of just take the big picture of when we are starting off with always seeing a person, realizing this is their story, not ours. All about this relationship and how I support you. Not to take over. You always are a part of your own story. It's not about the counter. It's not about just getting the task done. It's not about just getting the behavior stopped. It's about us getting in this together. We are a key to make this person's life worth living. Dementia is hard and it's ugly. But people can have types of dementia for over 20 years. Probably that's a long time to suffer. Let's try to figure out some ways to at least bring a little joy, contentment at some point. And understand that when we learn about the brain, we understand person with dementia is doing the very best they can. They're not trying to fool me. It's not a thrill for you to wipe my butt. Nobody sits around here at our age and like, I can't wait to move into a nursing home and they're going to wipe my butt and they're going to throw me in the shower. Nobody wants that. I'm doing the best I can with it. And then we must be willing to change. We can't ask that brain to change. How do we do it? We've got a great, big, powerful brain. It's an amazing brain. Let's learn from it. The first step, changing the way we talk about people. Person with dementia, not a demented person. I never forget the person first. It's things like, I'm not talking about behavior, but expressive communication. What's driving that unmet need, doing with, not to someone. We'll go through all these more, but it's just even looking at how do we talk about it. That's the stage for how we partner with it. All right. Let's dig more into the brain. Let's dig into that brain. So what you saw before with Leslie was that, the shrunken brain, which by the way is one third the size. And I like to think this: if their head shrunk down to the size of their brain, would we think about them differently? Would we treat them differently? So let's look at the brain. So she was looking at structure, and here we're looking at chemistry. These people were given a complex question, and here's a measure of the sugar mark. So the red is when the engine is at 65 miles an hour. You're going, all fired up. Then we have this yellow. That's like, I'm doing a Sunday drive. I'm about 30, 35. Then we get that blue. It's just kind of sitting in the driveway, idling, just idling. And then that purple is the cerebral spinal. You never say that word. Cerebral spinal fluid. Okay? So here, let's talk about pieces of the brain. What we're really looking at. All right, let's get on here. Back here, this is the back of the brain. This is the occipital. This is controlled vision. It's a pretty big piece. Then we have up here, this is the frontal prefrontal cortex. Then we have the temporal lobe here and here. This is the right side, okay? Right here, this is the language. This is the left. So this is the right side. I don't think it. That's what you said. This is the left. Right, left. This is me laying. I will be your person in the pit. Yeah. So this is me laying down. Yeah. Right. You got it. Then we have all in the middle here. That's your parietal lobe. It's your sensory motor. And let's look right here in the middle here. Down here you can see this is the primitive brain, the limbic system, the thrive to survive. So just take a minute at your table and just look and see what you notice. Fuck the table. Oh, what's 6 months? What'd you come up with? Something from each table. What did you notice? So what did you notice? Back here. The child brain had more. What else do you notice? There's a lot of fluid. So what are you noticing? Okay, so you're noticing a lot of fluid here.
So you're noticing that they're going to go fucking hard. Your behavior match. I got all that. Like you can with them now. So it's like they're reverting back to childhood. Anybody else? Anything? They're going into survival mode. How do you know they're going into survival mode? Let's have a look. So it's going to the limbic system and starting to kick in. The thrive to survive is kicking in. So what's interesting is, when we look at these brains, are we looking more at what they've got left or what they're losing? That's what we focus on. What can't they do? Instead of what they can do. So you notice the limbic system right here. What happens to the limbic system in the early parts of dementia? Oh, yeah. There we go. Primitive brain, that she's helping. It's highlighted for you. Yeah, so this is the limbic system. If you want to do this, put your fingers together like that. This is your limbic system. Do it with me. There's an engine. There's an engine that drives. This is the engine that drives the body, the motor. This is what drives the automobile that is your body, your temporary housing. That is the first part of the brain. What's that? The first part of the brain, you're born with that. Thrive to survive. It keeps you alive. And one of the most important parts, do this. Amygdala. Say it out loud. The amygdala. The amygdala. This is what keeps you alive. What do you notice about this? What happens? It gets more active. How often do we say, okay, I got something? They're trying to survive. That amygdala, is it firing up to get in trouble? Or to let you know something? To let you know. Let's look at this. Here's language. Up here. We're going to talk about this later. Formal language is on the left. The left. Here. Music, rhythm, curse words on the right. Have they lost all language? No. Oh, it's just different. It's just different. It's just different. So let's talk about, now let's do a little, and look at this. This is hippocampus. This is the thalamus, hypothalamus, and hippocampus. You have this here. So describe to survive, what that we look at as perhaps when we see it engaging even more, we start seeing it as maybe where problems happen, challenges begin to happen. So it starts with Kathryn. Yes. What are you talking about? No. Oh no. No.
That's early Alzheimer's. That's the conversation you're having.
Are you kidding me?
Mom, you keep writing all these checks to all these little solicitors coming. I've got to take
I have it in
your
control.
checkbook.
I've got it in control.
Is she feeling threatened?
So what happens when the amygdala takes over? I didn't know they did that. Yeah. Then what happens? Language shuts down. You get tunnel vision. You cannot think. You cannot be rational. That's what's happening. Your amygdala's going on. There's something there. Okay. The left amygdala. Left amygdala. This is your threat perceiver. Your threat perceiver. This is, it has levels. Like, I'm aware. Something doesn't feel right. I think I see a little something over there. And then, right. That's your pleasure seeker. Ooh, I like it. Oh, I like this. But what happens if I'm not sure I like this too much? I'm gonna keep my eyes open. I don't like this situation. Okay. All right. I do not want this anymore. Go ahead, do it with me. Going up to the next level. I do not want this, and I'm gonna start protecting myself. We're getting in a risky situation here. Things are about to go. No, I don't like this. I do not like this at all, and now I'm gonna be dangerous. I'm dangerous. I don't like this at all.
Now, it doesn't escalate like that.
And that's when we get down here. What do? We do it. What have they got? Can they control? Because what happens to the executive control center? When your amygdala goes off, it falls apart. And all these things, other part of the brain, hits campus. What's that? It hits campus. Yeah. Memories. Emotional memories. I remember you. I remember you. You take off my clothes and you put your hands on me. You touched me in places my mom told me nobody touched me. Their amygdala goes off. They have no executive control. Guess what comes through? An emotional memory. Comes out. An amygdala shoves that stuff right through. What have they done? Who can change? We can. So do you think it's better to think about your amygdala down here? Because what were you guys like? What happened to you when you were doing that exercise? The shield. Did your amygdala go off a little bit? How many people sat there and said, drawing? How many of you went, ooh, I want to do this. Oh, I love it. Give it more. Let's draw all day. You were down here. You were like, but you haven't posted that you didn't have to go.
You didn't have to, but did some of you still do it? Did some of you with your executive control center cut off and struggle with being reasonable, rational, logical?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not like this is an art contest. Just draw something. What are 3 things that represent me? Why can't I think? Why can't I think of anything? Shit, damn it. And what is that? Your formal language turned off. And you went to just, shit, forget it.
I can't do this.
And profanity started shooting at me. I can't make decisions. I can't make choices of what to put down here in the stinking paper.
How many of you did not like wrestling just a little bit? We're asking you to do that.
I just asked what a hot dog bowl was. I can't ask the question. And so those amygdalas where Kathryn was driving and vroom, vroom. Guess what yours was doing? Vroom, vroom. And your left amygdala, which is that rep perceiver, with a simple activity like this. What do you think happens when dementia happens? What happens when we get in the shower? With an activity like this, it goes off, and you go into fright mode. Oh shit! I'm not ready for this. This is what dementia. What did you put in? You freeze. Some people, we're not looking at your papers. Oh, don't have crap down on your paper. You're like, I don't know. Other people, flight. Forget it. I'm not doing it. Whatever. I'll scribble something over here. Let me go get myself a Danish or something. And some people fight. Okay, I can do this. But give me enough, like, she set pins down. Screw her. I got one more thing to draw. Your amygdala. Fright, flight, or fight. It does it for all of them. This part up here, that executive control center Kathryn's talking about, is what helps you pull back and not curse me out. Hair training. That's what helps you do that. And what happens, go back to your PIP scan. Yeah. And what happens in the earliest stages of dementia? I like the consultant in the early on. Oh. Right there. Red means it's firing, it's working. Everything's connected. I lose it. And so I go to mom and I say, Mom, you're not safe to drive. You know you have those accidents.
What are you talking about? Why do you do this?
All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get her to be reasonable, rational, and logical. And can she do it? No! We keep trying to work with what's changing, what she doesn't have any longer. Or what does she have? That primitive brain. And she's at the core of her brain of, I feel like I'm under attack. I feel like I'm threatened, and I don't like what's happening. And it's pulling back. This is hard, Mom. It's very hard. I'm sorry. I should. You're right. How can you get this? Because I love you. I'm talking here. I'm talking to what's firing, what's working, what she still has.
An emotional memory.
Now, based on where you are in this progression, if I can bring your amygdala back down, guess what comes back on a little bit more. And then we can start being reasonable, rational, and logical. But I can't do it when you're pissed the hell off. Just like people can't do it with us. Because it's about brain change, chemicals, the structure. So when we get pissed the hell off, guess what happens to us? Ours falls off too. And it's about how do we return? How do we return to the second control? This is the question.
How do you turn it back on? Let's do a quick peek at some of the other things. As we go through the day, we're going to start really looking into. We'll just do this real quick because we're going to start looking at executive control, amygdala. We're going to be looking for that throughout the rest of the day. So do this with me.
Whoa!
Exceed the executive control.
Whoa!
Bring it in, rein it in, impulse control. The next thing, taking in information and coming to a reasonable, rational conclusion. Reasonable, rational conclusion. Weighing options. Making a choice. Making a choice. Here's one that's really important. Initiate, sequencing, terminating, moving on. This is a big one. Starting something. How do you make peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Go into the kitchen.
Even a further step.
Go to the floor. Get in. First, you have to turn in your keys.
Yeah.
You see a lot of the sequencing. Hey, here's your lunch. Okay. Are you gonna eat it? Okay. Pick it up. Put it in your mouth. Need help from starting. Here's another big one. Let me look. Yep, that's me. My hair's pretty today. And, I did something. Self-awareness. I'm not so good at that. Self-awareness. I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm not doing, I know who I am. And there's this one. Yeah, and another person's point of view. Beauty is we can take self-awareness, another person's point of view. How often do we look at people in dimension and try to step in there so we can see it? Whose point of view are we looking at? Ours. The way you're acting is not working for me. Instead of the way you're acting, or the way I'm acting is not working for you. Who can change? So we're talking about we started talking about the amygdala. And when that executive brain falls off, these things come through. There's emotional memories. Those are communicating what? If I'm a person with dementia and my amygdala is going off, fear, emotions, frustrations, because what's not happening for me. Unmet needs. I have something and I can't just tell you what it is. I can't, because I don't have that. Especially if I'm frustrated, I got less language, less control. I can't just tell you that I don't like this. I don't like it. So let's look at what unmet needs are. Two kinds, physical and emotional. Look at those physical first. Put up your right hand. Hunger, thirst, intake. Everybody needs to have intake. Then we have this. Not enough energy, too much energy. Have you ever seen somebody walking around like, oh God, and you just know they're exhausted and they can't. They can't. You ever seen kids when they're like, I'm not tired, I'm not tired. Then we have this one. Come on, elimination. Yeah. You gotta pee, you gotta poo, it's nasty, but it's gotta happen. We all do. We all have it. And I'm taking dinner. And what is this? Comfortable. Comfort. Environmental comfort. Physical comfort. Then we have pain. Pain. What if I can't tell you when I fell down when nobody was looking and I hurt my elbow? No. You're like, just run around. No. Do I not want to put on my sweater? I'm in pain. My elbow hurts, but can I tell you? What would you say about me? No, you're trying to. What would you say? Resistant to care. Non-compliant. Maybe it's your unmet need. But what's funny is how often do we look at unmet needs and most of the therapists are taking physical. Our care is about what? Care partners. What are we taking care of? The body. The body. Yeah, we should be. But we don't have needs that are emotional too. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Less than now. Look at that. That sun, that anger, that's usually just a surface thing that we feel it back. There's a whole bunch more going on in there. Maybe I'm really sad. Maybe I'm so sad. Maybe I'm depressed. There are levels here. There's a level to everything. Maybe I'm absolutely simple. Maybe that's why I'm just sitting in here staring. Not doing anything. Maybe I'm just just a finger. Maybe I'm just desperately lonely. Nobody's taking time to connect with me because you're just human. Maybe I'm trapped. Let me out of here. You people, let me out of here. I want to get out. I got one foot in here. Not where I belong. Let me out of here. I'm just scared. Many reasons I'm scared. I may be again, scared, terrified. Then this one. I'm just bored. I don't know what to do with this stuff. I'm bored. That's the best thing I can find.
Sit down, Kathryn. We'll do that. Don't touch that.
How often Stop messing with stuff. Stop messing with it. But I'm a doer. I need to do something. I'm a doer. So how often do we think and consider the same way as having unmet needs? It might be physical, it might be emotional. Does anybody have any more? Well, this is good for purpose and for break.
This is our first time on the radio.
Why don't we just take a quick 10 minutes? Is that okay?
Yeah. Quick 10-minute break. Meet your own unmet needs.
Oh my goodness. I know. I was going to hate that when that happens. I know.
I'll get it all day. I got all day. Somebody.
Yeah, I said I was like, there's a bar on that one band.
Oh, good. This is all part of our man.
Yeah, so good.
Now everybody's scattered.
I wonder if there's one downstairs.
On this bed.
I want to get
It's
to
a bar.
over the place.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The class. We only have two stalls per gym here. This is the class. This is the class. Another full class. Everybody's in here, sit down. Right there. I know you're going mental of a primitive brain are reactive. And when you don't have dementia, you can hang on as best you can. Because it's all up, you can keep it. People living with dementia, that's where Kathryn was talking about, it starts breaking down, stuff starts flipping out. Oh shit, I didn't even curse in church. I curse all the time, but I know how to pull back when I'm in certain environments. I didn't mean to scratch. It's about what this is in control keeps those impulses back. How often is that taking you? Now, we want to help, we want to be partners. So what could we do to make it better, to make this different, so that we don't trigger some of the mistakes? What could we do? In that same activity, what can we do? Talk about what you do. Tell them.
Touch your hair, let me sit
Let's
left side.
Yes, let's tell them. Because the brain likes to take in information all kind of different ways. We only use one, we only use touch. But the brain, we use our senses to get information in for this executive control of this amygdala process. That's why we like to see, we like to hear, we like to touch and feel and smell and taste. So we're going to give you back some senses. We're going to give you back all of your senses. And you're going to try to help again because I got it now, we're care partners. We can do it this time. Now everybody has a card. Now with your partner, you and your partner have to have different colored cards. You guys cannot be the same. They have different color cards. If you do, And we have to swap because you're not supposed to show your card to anybody. Let's switch out. She's over there reading her partner's card. That's not
Oh, no good. No good.
Did you see it or were you just giggling? Oh, just giggling. I am so sorry. It's a powerful tool, isn't it? So what I want you to do is to take a moment and read your card to yourself. Make sure you have a partner, though. Make sure they have a partner. Somebody needs to. So he's gonna need a partner. Oh, okay. That's what we'll get there. So I want you just to take a moment because it's a little different. You're really gonna have to kick your brain into gear. You need a partner? I'm gonna have to try. Oh, wait. Okay, we'll wait till we start moving again. But first, I just want you to, just read your card and figure out, do I understand what this is trying to say? Pick that executive purpose. Use the language, what it wants you to say, and what it wants you to do. Okay, everybody got it? You got it. Now what you're going to do is, now go ahead, get back with your partner. You got to stand up, get back with your partner. I'll go with that.
You know one without a partner?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. Okay. Now, one of you, doesn't matter which now, put your card down. Nobody cares what you have to say or do. Put your card down. One person and a partner, only one should have their card. You're going to have a minute to say and do what it says, and you've got all those senses to use. Go for it. Help your person out.
Oh, you have doctors on your face. Just let me have Tim's on for you, okay?
Nothing here. Okay, real quick, don't show your person your card. Real quick, put your card down, other person pick theirs up. Because your partner was laughing at you like, you don't know how to be a care partner. Show them how to be a care partner. Now you read your card and do your thing to them.
You have your plans on yours. I'll just light them for you, okay?
There we go. All right. Please, everybody have a seat and stop abusing the person with dementia. Yeah. Now, you had all the senses. You told me all I need to do is tell them I can make this better. If they can only see me, if I can only talk to them, it'll be all right. How did it go? Not too well. Why not? It didn't make any sense. Well, did she say it loud enough for you? Or did she talk too fast? You understood. What about over here at some other table? How did it go? Was it better? How did it see and hear you? It didn't make sense. I gave you everything you wanted. Yeah. What else? English, speak English, listen what the hell are you saying? So, why didn't it work? Why doesn't it work? Just tell it.
Because the language wasn't being understood. Disconnect.
Right there. over here is not receiving the data the same way you receive it. They're not experiencing this world the same way you are. There's language changes happening. So how many times do we go to a person living with dementia? How many people go to school and get trained, all these caregivers, these CNAs out here, and they're told, tell the person exactly what you're going to do, smile and be friendly, and then do it. Here's the thing with those five senses. It's not like they're just random. This brain likes them in a certain order. This brain likes to see things first. Show me. I want a heads up. I want to see what you're doing first. I want to know what's coming visually. Then I want to hear it. I want to be able to understand. But here's the thing. When I know this language change is happening, I need them to match. What you show me and what you tell me needs to match. And frequently, we're showing friendly and social, and we're smiling, and we're giving them the visual cue of a nod. And when a person starts nodding, what happens? You nod back too. Okie dokie. And so we notice their action and we think, okay, we're good. There's a disconnect because what we showed and what we told didn't have anything to do. They need to match. It's about matching your visual and your verbal cues. Because a person with dementia is watching the heck out of us, trying to figure out the world around them. They're watching. They're trying to pick up on what's happening next, what's going on. Because this environment is confusing. And we're relying on talk. And we talk. And we repeat. And we get louder and louder. And that's not the problem. We match these. And only then do we give permission before we move to touch. This is a finger touches on. Why? How did it feel when your eyes were closed and your hands were behind your back? It's like you touch here. It felt like this. I felt vulnerable. So it's visual cues, verbal cues that match. Get it okay. Are we on the same page? And then I touch. They all have to come together. There's an order. So hopefully you remember your assignment because I told Kathryn, I lost my sequence. I told you to gather up the cards. Well, you've got long-term memory, right? You remember what you were doing with your work, right? Right. So now what I want you to do is quickly is go back to that person and give them a visual verbal cue that match. Get it okay, and then do your test. Can you do that? You want an example?
Yeah.
Hey, oh, looks like you're famished. No? Oh, okay. Is that okay? Ah. I'll help you get your hair back. What did you see? Save up for your here. You guys need more props. You need more visual. Here she is. We all like this one. Hey. Looks like you're famished. I'll help give your hair back, okay? Right. Because I can't fix what she hears. I can't fix what, it doesn't matter. You can say, it looks like you're finished. Finished! Are you finished? It doesn't matter how many times you say it. Based on my brain changes, I'm losing confidence. I'm losing the ability to match words with actions with objects. I lose that. So all she hears is, it looks like you're finished. How I help is I show her what I'm talking about. Looks like you're famished. Okay? What is
Done.
Are you finished? So she may hear famished, but remember, she's watching more of what I do than what I say. Are you finished? You're famished. Okay. I'll help give your hair back. It's her chair. I can't fix that. She's going, like, if I just stand here, I'll give your hair back, okay? Okay? Even if I'm celibate, I'll give your hair back. And all she's got is hair. She's expecting something to happen up here.
Right. And then her body's moving.
And right, and your hair back. Now at least it's like, okay, something's happening down here. Something's happening down here. And this is the struggle for us because we hang on to words. Which is why you partner that. You partner your visual and your verbal. Because I don't know what's getting in. I don't know what's getting destroyed. I can't tell. You know when I will find out? When she thinks I say hair, and I grab her chair, and she goes like this. And then I'm back to, ooh, I am so sorry. I'll get it. I'll get the message sooner or later. We weren't on the same page. But it's more than just the nod of, I'll put your hair back, okay? And look at her just without it. No clue. So that's how we support, because will you know exactly what a person is receiving from? No. When do you get a clue? I might need to start matching my visual with my verbal. When do I get a clue I need to start doing that? When I've been relying on language, verbal, and then I start getting unexpected reactions, when their amygdala starts triggering. That's my clue telling me I can't see her brain. Something's changing. Something's changing in her brain. Let me ask for it. I know she's losing language, but I know she also still retains visual. Not just what she's losing, but what does she still have? She still has vision. So I up my vision, my visual cues, because I know she's losing language. Are you done? Yeah, but you still, yeah. So you can change up your words, but as she's going through, chair, cheese, you got it? Yeah, chili. You know what I'm saying? Is that it may be, it's us. This is us. This is us. Can I just say more? Can I tell her more? Can I try it in a different way? Can I try it in a different way? Can I talk? Yeah, you can change that, but this is what you know they have. Focus on what they have, not what we're good at. We're really good at talking. That's wonderful. We spent all these years going to school learning how to talk. But what do they still have? Stop working on what they're losing. But you definitely can. You can cut it just back to your hair instead of a full sentence. You can do that. But it's matching it. Because eventually, guess what's going to happen to her? She's going to change. It doesn't matter what word I give you. You're not going to be able to hold on to it. So when do I build my skill of communicating visually and verbally with you? Early on, when I got a crutch of, yeah, sometimes you get it. Because how hard is it when I said to people, just match your visual and your verbal? And you're like, okay, well, wait a second. Now, how many people in here work with people living with dementia that have language changes? How many people in here work with people that struggle with language? We gotta practice our visual skills. Because we know they're struggling. I know you had a question before we practice.
Well, my question to you, I was just curious why less controllable changes happen and not less. You're going to cover that later. It wouldn't even know correctly. Some of them I think very
They will. So let's just knock out language just real quick, because we're not going to get in that in a couple of months. So language, how does language work? Left and right temporal. The way the brain works is it doesn't divide vocabulary like A through L over here is N through Z. Because it's special. The thing about dementia is that it attacks the brain asymmetrically. It attacks certain parts before it attacks it. It doesn't just kind of work from the front, and the back. It'll hit the perimeter brain. It'll hit the exact control. It hits the left side before it hits the right side. So what's on the left? Formal language, vocabulary, speech production, comprehension. Everything you go to school for is filed on the left side. You got beautiful file cabinets that are alphabetized. They're set by categories of animals, planets, whatever, colors. It's all nice and neat over here. And you go to school and you learn your vocabulary. Oh, this is very interesting. So you go to school, and you come home. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here's what I learned. I learned the word shoot. So, what do I take away as a kid in elementary school? All right, fine. So I just go ahead and I file it onto there. You know, I've got shit and all kinds of stuff over there. Shoot, all that stuff, just file. Okay, then, go back to school. What's the best part about school? Recess! I'm on the playground. Ooh, big what? I learned this new word. Ooh, yeah, shit. Okay, it's like poop. It's like poop. It means poop, but it's a bad word to say. Oh. Don't tell it. Because you don't like poop, you don't like shit. Okay, shit. S-H-I-T. Okay, so I'm putting it on how to spell. Shit. Hey, Mom. I'm not eating this shit. What happens when you use a curse word for the first time in front of an adult? It's emotional, it's powerful. I didn't go. Shit, I was just about to file it over here. Shit, shoe, whatever, you know. And it has this powerful reaction. And where it goes is it's not working on this neocortex, this outside, this thinking part of my brain. Guess where it goes? Straight to the core of my primitive brain. Because it's emotional. It hits that amygdala. It hits your hippocampus of emotional memories that get locked in a whole lot faster. It gets anchored in the core. And what do we see in that PET scan? The primitive brain, you're born with it, you hang on to it all the way to the end. Start short circuit, but you got it. This outside of your brain took you 20, 25 years to fully develop this. First thing that goes. So I say shit, file it over here. It's emotional. Emotional words go over here. Profanity, sex talk, racial slurs, just ugly words, fat, stupid, idiot. Everything they told you not to say gets filed over here. Whether you believe it or not, whether you use it or not. If you live on this planet, your brain has learned that some things are appropriate to say in settings and some things aren't. Some things are more hurtful to people than others. And I can choose with my executive control center if I want to use them or not. But I still know them. And they're over here. The blessing over here, music, poetry, and prayer. Those are strong in emotion too. They're rhythmic. They're automatic. I don't have to think about the prayer. It hits me emotionally, and I start right off with our God, who art in. You just roll with it. It's automatic, and it's emotional. It's not a double whammy. It's anger. So, relating to the disease, I can still pray. You can come to me, and I don't have any language. I can't tell you what I want to eat for dinner, but I can pray with you. I can sing Amazing Grace. I can hit the third verse. I tap out after the first verse of Amazing Grace. My singers I support, they keep on singing. It's emotional, it's rhythmic, it's injured, it's angry. And it's not attacked as quickly as the left. And so that's how, I don't have the word choose, but I sure as heck got the word shit. This is shit. You're shit. This is shit. What are you laughing at? You're shit. And all of a sudden it's coming out because I've lost formal language of, look, this is not working for me anymore. I heard this doesn't make sense. You're moving too fast. You're relying too much on your language and you're not giving me enough visuals. I can't give you that. What I give you is, this is shit. You better translate it. That's our job. Translate. What's hard is that we all have a button where when you say something to me that, what do you think a racial slur is? What is that triggered by? A big old visual cue. I can't get rid of this visual cue. So what happens if I piss you off and I give you the wrong type of cue? And what do I need to do? What do I need to do? You need to be rulers. Hang on to your executive control. Remember that impulse control? Whoa. It's our word. What's Kathryn talking about? I better go, whoa. It's not the person, it's the disease. I'm doing something wrong. I need to back up versus I need to apologize. I need to take a deep breath. Because what happens when someone hits your hot button? Your executive control center falls off, and your amygdala's off, and you're reacting. Care partner, you take a deep breath in, you blow it all the way out. Physiological change in your brain that calms you down, that brings your amygdala down, so that you can still think. Physiological change. Not just talking about, it's going to be okay. No. Tell them, breathe. Breathe, Doc. When your coworker's struggling, tell them, breathe. Walk away, get help. So that's the change. You're welcome. With it. Now, you're not getting out of this before lunch. Please help the person with their partner and match a visual and a verbal cue to either help them out of their chair, get the crumbs off of their face, whatever you're thinking with. Give them a quick visual verbal cue. And then let's eat.
I miss it.
Oh, you missed it. I thought it was about no. Okay. Right here. There. You can do her. Okay, but I don't actually. What is that? So what you want to do now is much better. Use a visual cue like detrimental language. Yeah. Everybody back? Oh, yep, except for Marty. He's here. Where'd she go? What I just saw. Oh, what's the relation? We're good. Yeah, we're good. So where we left off, did everyone have a nice lunch? Very nice. Thank you. Any some of these have been met? Everybody's met when you. So when we left off, we were talking about how we take in data, the primary ways. We talked about vision is important and matching words and language. And Leslie talked to you some about how
Their language is changing, how they understand it, how they produce it, what kind of words they have or don't have, what they have left. And we kept talking about visual cues. Guess what? This changes too. So since we've been sitting down and we got all that food, before we go into a food coma, how about we all get up? Everybody get up. Take a look at this. Look at that. That's a big piece of brain. Because it's the primary way we take your data. What we want to do is make sure you have enough space. And put your arms out. Make sure you're not going to hit your neighbor home or trigger anyone's amygdala. All right. Put your arms straight out to the side, like a T. Hands like this. Wiggle your foot. Pick a point on the wall in front of you, and wiggle your finger. Can anybody in here see their finger? Then, are you 25? And you're cheating. Generally, what kind of vision is this? Peripheral vision. This is not our function vision. It's our peripheral vision. As we age, normal aging, take it in about 45 degrees so you can see it. Say, I'm sit right here. I can sit. Okay, that's normal. And as we age, it goes even a little more. Now, when we get dementia, in the early stages of dementia, come here back here. Tunnel vision. Here's how we can experience tunnel vision. Put your hands up like a scuba mask. Here's normal aging. Put your hands out like a fin. Okay. Pick that point on the wall. Just notice what you can kind of peripherally see while you're looking at that point on the wall. This is normal, about 75 years old. Now, go down to the binocular vision. Notice. Go back. Go down. Now, next stage. Middle stage dementia. Binocular vision. Go from scuba, binocular. Straight ahead, what do you see? Go back to scuba, binocular. Did anybody disappear? Now, try this. Keep your binoculars on. Move around the room. Start walking around. Walk around, people. Keep your binoculars on. Notice your body. What's happening? Where are you looking? Down. Why?
You gotta see where you're going.
You can't see. Check this out. How many times have you seen this? Stand up, Kathryn. Okay. Come on. All right. Stand up. Okay. We think you're just being lazy. Do we have any OT in here when you're training with the walker? Stand up. Let me go back in. All right. Now, final stage. Oh, also another. I'm gonna put that in. Another thing that happens. The next stage in change of vision is a change in object recognition. So, I got my binoculars on. It is my turn. You can't brush with your toothbrush. You gotta stop talking on the tooth. No, it's not against marching. All right, now next shift, later stage. You go from, let's just review so you can notice things. Pick something. Take a person, take a point on the wall, start your vision. Binoculars. Okay, binoculars. Look at the binoculars now. Binoculars. One eye closed. You gotta cover that eye. You can't close it on your own. You're looking through one eye. With that one eye. Take that. Try to put something on the floor. Look at it. Find a point on the floor. Whoa. What happened?
You made my pants too tight. That's weird. Don't worry. You'll cook it.
That breeze, that is so much. These two eyes will go in, flip stuff around, line it up so they can see through the next vision. When that brain is starting to look like that, I can work that hard. I can only work with one. I can work with one. Now, what do you think happens? Let's see. Put your binoculars on. Now look down at your paper in front of you. Now look up at the person across the table from you. Can you see your paper? So what do we do? Here you go. Here's your lunch. Hi, you're going to have a conversation with me. Okay. Here's your lunch, okay? Hey, guess what? You want to go to bingo? Okay, great. And what we do is we think that they're going to think move it out a little bit. Right, move it out a little bit. But this is past vision versus social vision. We can't do it. But what do we do all the time? What do we do?
Put it up nice and close to the table.
Put it
Get
nice,
on still.
shovel in close, and we get through and start talking to them. It can only be one thing at once. When we get to this stage, you also need help with initiation, sequencing, terminating. Yeah. And finally, at the very end, we'll see. Really hard. I have a lady down there close to me. She's now very inundated. I was really lucky. I got her eye contact. And that was like. So how often do we consider vision? All right, when you come up. Partner?
Have a partner.
Get a partner, stand up.
Hopefully didn't have one.
All right, you're gonna need get a chair. Pull the chair away from the table so you can walk in and out. And you can say,
Does anybody not have a partner?
I do have you, Leslie. So here, one person sit in the chair. One of you sit in the chair. You need to have space. You need to have like 6 feet. 6 feet. Try and get 6 feet. 6 feet.
All right, we're gonna have to go back.
About 2 arms length. 2 arms length.
Okay.
You got that? All right. Person in the chair, put on your binoculars. Binoculars on. Oh, put your binoculars on. Hair partner, see me. Come on, see what I'm doing. Now, I just want you to be nice and friendly. Hey, Leslie, how you doing?
Anybody
startled? Did anybody startle? Did you know they were coming? How often do we do that? Have you ever seen this? Are they doing it to be mean?
No.
What just happened? I'm in danger. I'm in danger. Nicola, who scared them? Try another way. Another way we're real friendly. This is a real friendly one. We think we're being friendly. I want you to come right in, get right in the face like this, and smile and say, "Hey, Leslie, you look so good today." Go ahead, do it. Get right in there.
Sorry, apologize.
Hey,
See where it's going.
That's a little too much.
I did have the idea.
Try one more thing. Try one more thing.
I think that was
Just give them a, just come in like this. Lean in. Hey, Leslie. Go ahead, just lean in.
lean in.
What do you see?
What do you see?
What did you see? Did you see things?
No.
Did you see food?
It's a little shorter.
You see food. What potentially could happen? People get smacked, or you could get. And what are we going to say about that resident without personal behavior? Sexually inappropriate. try to fix it.
The other ones are missing out on all the joy. All the joy.
Try coming from behind. Put your binoculars on.
Hey,
Be
Margie,
real
how's
friendly
it
from behind.
going?
All right.
Okay, now go to the front. Just get real friendly and
Margie, how's it going?
just be friendly.
Hey, Margie, good to see
Now
you.
just get down to the stand right over top. All right, wait a minute, come back.
Wow.
What's the time for everybody to do right now?
Wow.
How was that?
Awful.
It was awful. What do you need to do right now? Why was it awful? What was awful about it? It's frightening. You were unexpected. What you weren't expecting it for that. You were frightened. Why were you laughing?
Because of the move job.
But that's because it's what you still have. Object recognition.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know it was food, and all you see is something in front of your face, and you're just curious, and you're starting to lose. Oh, good transition. What's starting to happen? We'll talk this real quick. We'll talk about hearing. That is following you. You're not losing. It's still you. It's the language. So let's talk about the sensory motor. Sensory motor. Awareness of your body. Awareness of what's going on inside. Awareness of where the pain is. May not have it in there. But something does remain. There are 4 areas of the body that stay active. And that's sensory motor. There are 4 main sensory areas. Now, I'm going to give everything people. Getting sensory sensation. Hands, feet. Bottom of hands and feet. So when I say, I don't know that they're boobs, and I need some sensory input because I'm bored, I'm going to see this. See that? Are they anxious? Sensory input. You're welcome with this. Keep doing it. Your face. They're getting that part of it. They're getting that. Just grow. And breathe. Eye sensation. So, where do you see from the back?
So where are we giving care?
More sensitive, not more sensitive. Not like it is, that's exactly right. It can be, if
You gotta trigger the left or the right of me.
yeah, if
That's
it's
what you're
really
doing.
like it, sexually inappropriate, no, don't do that. How many people have you heard about touching themselves? We don't do that. They may not be trying to touch themselves, it just feels good. You're not, but what do you call them? Again, we're focusing on what they're doing, not their needs. But their unmet needs. So where are we going from here, Miss Leslie? That's this.
No, you hit sensory, and I didn't jump up fast. I went back a little bit.
Oh, go.
Do you mind? Let's go back up. because I felt like that was a big aha for some people, just the changes that happen with vision. And how the world, you start seeing it in parts as your vision changes. And we are aware, like we see this whole big picture, but when a person is down to binocular vision, and I'm trying to greet and care for you, and I offer care head on like this. She's jumping her, she's so jumpy. Come over here. Your man hands on first and bring it here. And with her binoculars, what we don't realize is that we all of a sudden fill up a person's whole world. And we're triggering their amygdala because all they see is the caregiver. There's no way out. And if I don't like what you're doing, I've got 3 options with my amygdala. I go into fright mode and I freeze. And so you look at people with dementia, you're trying to give them care. And have you ever felt like they're just completely disconnected from it? You know they don't like it, you're picking up on cues, this isn't working. And so what do? Just a little bit longer, let me move faster. And we close them even more. Or they go into fright and they're trying to get away. You're like, hang on. Or they move to fight. And the only way they can get out is through me. Even though there's all kind of other ways to get out, they can't see because of vision change. We need to be aware of that. We need to be aware. It's not about, it's okay, be calm, Kathryn. Now I know brain changes that are happening. How do I adjust? So when you go back to binocular vision, and you get on binocular vision, it's one, having an awareness of, when I want to greet Kathryn, how do I need to approach her? I need to kneel down, but where do I want to go? I want to, so we want to come from the front so she can see me, because vision is the primary way I like to take in information. I want to come from the front and have an awareness of, she still may not be able to see me right here. And how many people would think, like, she didn't even notice me? Really, where do I need to come from until I get that eye contact? And then with the experience of the parts, do I want to start off right here with her? So that she just sees body parts, it's starting off a whole lot further out here. When she started talking about that 6 feet space, it's in public space. When you are in binocular vision, to see all of me and realize this is a person and not part, I want to start out here. So even if I'm coming from here, I don't greet Kathryn here. I don't greet her in this intimate state. I walk past. Now she sees a fact. I'm not in attack mode. Hey, this is how I even start approaching and keeping her amygdala down, knowing about vision change. Coming around, walking past the person. How many people work in communities, buildings, large, and you're walking down the hallway and there's a little slow old lady going by, and you're zipping, and it's, hey, don't greet them as you're passing. Walk past, hey, Kathryn, greet out here, knowing the vision. That's my favorite president. It's coming from here with vision, matching a visual and a verbal. Because as that vision is changing, that language is changing too. They're going hand in hand. Hey, Kathryn. Hey. Oh. And getting permission to come in, to get closer. Not assuming it's okay. Oh, social cues. When I'm here, and they're in a wheelchair, look at her. Look at me. I did a lot of good stuff, but what's it look like now? I'm just here to help. Getting down low. By the time you're in intimate space, we need to be down low. So that I'm aware of how I'm communicating, not just with my words. I'm not just focused on my task. But we start communicating way out here. It's a dance.
You know what I like about this? She has her body to the side. So I'm not triggered because even if I don't like what's happening, at least I have a perception I can get away.
Being aware of the brain.
You know, we can be down the phone.
Oh,
No, we can. Just do it.
two long hours. Okay, real quick, when we talk about getting to the side matters and what side you get. So I'm not going to ask people to get down on their knees like me. So what I wanted to do is just get a quick experience of how it matters and what happens in our brain and in our body. So what I want you to do with your partner is I want you just to stand in front of them, and I want you to go to their left side and just stand there. Don't say anything. And if you're Kathryn, just pay attention to how your body feels, what your brain is doing with a person standing right here. Not touching you, just standing there. And then based on whether you're on the opposite side. Does it matter to your brain? So just give it a quick little try. It's about standing. Good exercise. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You need a partner. You need a partner. You got a feeling? Are you writing it down? So, it's a subtle difference. It's not a big difference. Yeah, it's just a little edge. And that's what did everybody get a chance to do it? Did you guys get a chance to swap and try it out? Who did it make a difference for? What the side the person stood on? Did it make a difference?
I think it made a difference.
Yeah. Who did it not make a big difference? So people just, it's such a subtle thing. It's understanding how the brain works. The brain prefers to have a person on their dominant side. If you're right-handed or whatever, like that, you prefer a person on your right. If you're left, it's a little awkward. I'm not as skilled over there. Now, some people, it's the exact opposite. That they want them on their non-dominant or dominant. Here's the thing. It's not about whether you fit into this box or that. It's an awareness that the side I stand on to help you makes this much of a difference. And when I'm trying to take your pants off and you don't understand the words coming out of my mouth, you don't understand our relationship, I need every edge possible. And if it makes a difference to you, if I'm on your right versus your left, well, hell, I can get on the right side if that gives me an advantage. Understanding the brain. Now, here's the thing. Where do you think most caregivers stand when they're helping? Either on front or on, they have the person living with dementia on their dominant side, your preferred side. So if we do help from the side, we're typically on the person living with dementia non-dominant because we like to be comfortable. And guess what? We're in charge. We can pick what side we're on. We focus on what's comfortable for us and not the person. I just wanted to back up to that because it's a subtle thing, but when you're struggling and you're running out of ideas on how to help a person, you'll take whatever you can get. Just a little thing about size, dominant, non-dominant. Okay, so back to sensory. So let's dig a little bit more into the sensory motor changes going on that Kathryn talked about and what do we do. And so she talked about it in the high sensory areas in your lips, tongue, and mouth, your hands, your feet, your genitalia. What changes with sensory motor in different parts of your body are fine motor skills change. And so when she went through the vision changes in your eyes, part of the reason you go from binocular to monocular is a fine motor skill to be able to manipulate two images and overlay them to get that depth perception. And my brain is losing it because it's dying. And so I give you that cue of I'm losing depth perception because I start stepping over patterns in the floor. I pause at a doorway that changes from carpet to wood or linoleum or whatever. I'm out there grabbing stuff. I'm missing the table. I'm giving you the information. I'm expressing, communicating to you my vision changes going on. So it happens in your eyes. It happens in your mouth and in swallowing. I lose the ability to chew and break down meat. And I move from chewing to chomping. And I start popping. I start aspirating because I can't manipulate the functions of breathing and drinking and eating, all of it. Those are the cues I'm giving you about these of my sensory motor changes, my fine motor skills changes. What we see it in the hands is that I go from being able to button my shirt and zip my pants and manipulate a fork to what happens when I can't do it anymore. What happens when I can't manipulate my zip ring? I get frustrated and who comes to the rescue? We take over. Here's the thing about the hand. It's not just all skill. It's not that I can either do it or I can't. It's different parts. So your hand is divided right down the middle. You've got nerves running through here. And these three fingers are your manipulators, your skill fingers. And that's what you use to look at your shirt. How did I button my shirt this morning? How did I zip my pants? How am I holding the pen? This is how you do fine motor skills. These two little fingers back here are strength. They're strength and anchor and grip. That's what helps you stabilize things. And so here is how when I'm trying to open a jar and I really need strength. When it's an easy little thing, you can just look at your fingers. But when it's tough, like, I got to get in there. I use strength. I hammer. I take a hammer. It takes all of my fingers to grip and anchor and stabilize that object. Your hands are divided. When I lose those sensory motor changes and I lose those fine motor skills, and I come to shake your hand, it all turns to strength. And have you ever shaken someone's hand? And this is a highly sensitive area. Ooh, that feels good. And they do the hand squeeze. Anybody in here ever have a hand squeeze by the little old lady and you're like, let go, let go, right? And we grab and we pull it where you're like, you're killing me. And who has the bruises? And the family member comes, what the hell are you doing to my mother? You know, she was hurting me. You can't imagine it. All of a sudden, because it all becomes strength. That's the change that happens. They don't lose all their ability in their head. They lose fine motor. So how do we stay aware of what a person still has and what a person's losing? We partner. We want to be fair partners. So with Kathryn, we want to do things together. I want to help her eat. I want to help her dress. I want to help brush her hair together. And I get permission. Old social habit. How long have your seniors been shaking hands? I don't know what this next generation is going to do, but seniors, they're used to shaking hands. Automatic movement, retained. As soon as I get that shake, I hook up the thumbs. And I close down. And it's kind of like right now we're arm wrestling. Arm wrestling, how do you know who wins? Who gets pinned? The person on top is the winner. They knock the other person down. Who's on top here? Who's in charge? The person who's on top is in charge. Whose story is it? Going back to the beginning, whose story is it? Whose life is it? It's Kathryn. She wins every time, metaphorically. This is called hand under hand. I am here to support and guide whatever you need. You're in charge. So Kathryn now can hang on with all her gross motor and squeeze away, and she's got a lovely little chicken leg. Nice little fat part of my hand, where she gets her sensory feedback. I'm not asking her to do any more or less than what she can do. And I'm safe and she's safe. And if things really get ugly, I need to get away, it's just one thumb versus 4 fingers that you're trying to shake there. It's a whole lot easier to get a thumb out. Sometimes, no matter what we do, things go south. Here, I hang on with my strength fingers. And what do I have now are my skills. I match what Kathryn needs. All she needs is skill. She doesn't need growth. She can do the big motor movement. So can she move a fork back and forth to her mouth? Has she been shoveling food in her mouth for a lifetime? Yes. Yes, she has. What she can't do is hold it and manipulate it. And so we partner. And what Kathryn is able to do is to control the speed. To move. No, like, you're moving too slow. You're moving too fast. How hard is it to figure out the pace of where someone wants to eat or drink? We're in this together. Pair partnering with hand under hand. You do it with all sorts of things. That strength. So what I want us to do is go way back to that touching exercise. And we had improved it of matching a visual and a verbal. And now we're going to partner with our touch. And seeing how we can start off really bad and scaring people and triggering their amygdala. To once I know all this stuff about the brain, what I can really do as a care partner. So grab your partner, and we're going to go slowly and get in the hand under hand. So grab a partner. You think we're just going to do all the work? Okay. So what you want to do slowly is shake. Hey. Hook them. Close down. Now, what do we talk about dominant sides? Because remember, by this time, they're at least at binocular vision, if not monocular. So you want to be to the side of your person. So are you to the side? And are you on your personal dimension's dominant side? Very good. Now, do we have any left-handed people in here? Oh, I see. We love left-handed people because part of what the great thing about hand under hand and doing it with someone is that I can kickstart that sequence and she can go for it. So when I'm assisting with hand under hand, if she's left-handed, I gotta use my left hand. Because I want to use her motor memory in case she can start it herself. Doesn't make any sense to use her right hand if she's left-handed. Doesn't matter what we are. Okay, so how are we feeling in hand under hand? Are we good? Good. Yep. Kathryn says you look good. So now what we want to do, we're going to go back to just touching hair, and I'm going to step up front just a little bit. I'm still to the side. Why? Because she's at least binocular vision. And I want to give her a visual cue. I show on myself a visual cue. I point at you. I know my hair's jacked up when I'm talking about you. That's what we're saying. Kathryn, make sure you point to the side that you're heading for. And then it's a brush. You do it together. You move that hand together. So just try fixing their hair, brushing their shirt along. We'll walk around and see how you're doing.
Oh, wow. All right.
All right. So if you're feeling loaded again, let your other things go. Close your eyes. And let the person do the movement. And I bet you'll know where the mission is in your hair. I don't have to hear you. And hand under hand, we'll How was that experience? How did it feel? It's better. It's different. Isn't like, yeah, I can do this all day. It's different. It's different. It's something I got to get used to as a care partner. It's something that I want the person I'm trying to support to get used to. But is it better than you just doing stuff to me? Oh, definitely. Definitely. At least let me be a part of it, care partner, versus just shoveling food in my face while I'm sick the whole time. But let's be in it together. Multiple ways that hand in hand we use, we won't go into those now. That's when we do more detailed in-depth skill building classes. But it's used to comfort. So there's a lot of amazing things about that hand in hand. Palm of your hand, right here, just on me, Mark, is a pressure point. It's that it's calming. It releases chemicals in your brain to relax you and tell that amygdala it's okay. And so, where did my oh, you're right. Oh, no, I wanted to calm you. I just want to calm you. Come over here and let me calm you. So in hand under hand, before I even start any kind of fancy dancing, I'm going to assist you with eating. I'm just going to breathe. And when you're stressed out, I'm going to give you a little squeeze in the hand. And I'm working with your sensory motor, and your brain goes, just relax. I'm using all the ways I can to work with that brain with that. Versus, just calm down, Kathryn. Calm down. Calm down. It's going to be okay. It's a little longer. That's sweet. Here's the other great thing about that sweet. It's calming, but it's also hardwired and eye coordination. Hardwired together. What the eye sees, the hand wants to touch. What the hand touches, the eye wants to see what the heck are you touching. So when we're in hand under hand, and my mom's all there looking, wandering at everything. Mom, over here. Focus over here. You sound like a nag. Give a little hand pop. You pop somebody's hand, you can't help it. It's hardwired together. She turns back around. Oh, hey. And she's in control. It's not me nagging. Look here, focus here. It's, I can use that if I know how the brain works, I can use it to my advantage. Ooh. Let's finish. So let's sandwich. To cue you, how do I bring you back? I can bring you back through touch without triggering your amygdala, keeping you calm. Other great way to do it. To start to initiate what we talked about, and I can start helping you eat, assisting you with eating versus feeding you, the feeder table. And I kickstart you, and there you go. And what will happen is that person will all of a sudden look at you like you're an idiot and knock your hand away. And you say, I am so sorry. And you let them go for it. And you may have to prompt them again, but that's okay with it. Sometimes they're not able to kickstart at all anymore. So we'll dress together. We'll bathe together. When I'm bathing, I'm going to be aware, I know this is a hypersensitive area. I know this brain is dying. You can only pay attention so much. So I might put more pressure on your shoulder, on a joint, while I'm doing care down here, to pull the brain so it doesn't just focus completely on this. If all we're doing is touching that, The brain is able to focus 100%. Versus, I can give you sensory feedback in other areas when I'm doing sensitive care, different parts, fingerprints, all of those things. Send the brain someplace else that you can. Dividing conflict quickly. You know how to support. The last one we're going to talk about is moving and changing direction. And I want to spend a little time with this because this, you end up helping people get up and down out of a chair so often when you're helping a senior. And how do you do it where you don't look at yourself aggressive? No. I don't know which direction you're going. We always stand for it. But how do you do it and not go back into caregiving and do it to a person instead of care partner? So typically, I'll turn this way. Let me help you little faster. Okay. How do we typically help somebody sit down that needs help? Help me through. Reach back. Reach back on the arms. Okay, there aren't arms on this. What can I do now with her? Right. Back up. Back up. Okay. Now how do we get them down? Do you sometimes hang on this way? Yeah. Go ahead. You got it. Come on back up. And I pull her up and down this way, right? Anybody using gate belt? Yep. Okay. Or just the pants if you're old school. Give them a wedgie. Come on. Now, I mean, is that how we help though? We help from the front or we help from the side. Sometimes we pull back. And how do you know you're doing to somebody? When they're actually working against you. Have you ever helped somebody sit down and their body is stiff? Yeah. Or they're grabbing on it and you're like, let go, it's okay. They're communicating to me. Is it working? Or they fall back and they're like, oh. You're like, but you feel like you're falling. I'm not going to make you down. But you can see her Kathryn feel like she's falling. So typically we focus on getting the butt in the chair, correct? How do we normally sit down though? Nice and good. So how do we normally sit down? What do you do? Lean forward. Lean forward. And why do we lean forward? So we don't lose our freaking balance and feel like we're falling. Exactly. But when we're caregiving, we're doing to somebody, we forget all that or we're in the way anyway. And we're all about the butt in the chair, pulling them back. Partnering. Getting into the hand under handstand. Getting to the side in the supportive stance. And getting in her world. I'm nice and close, anchored and supported. Right here. And what I want to do, I'm in a little triangle. The hand goes, the body goes. I cue her hand to drop it. She automatically starts to use it. I cue back here with my shoulder. Without a bunch of talking, I'm letting go of talking. And she automatically starts in that position. And the body will do what it does. And the knees go. And she's down. And when I want her to stand up, I do it in reverse. I want her to stand up straight. I move the hand up. The body will do it if I know what's attached in support. So that they feel like it's still natural. It's still what they remember in their motor movement, in that sensory motor strip. I keep her anchored. Care partnering versus caregiving. Just put a little thing on that. Good? Oh, steering. She wants me to steer her. So here we go walking. So I got her up. Here we go. Go that way. Visual cue. Walking versus. Come on, Kathryn. You ever see people help them like this? This will automatically help her stand. Start walking back. When I walk hand in hand. And then I want to turn. This is my rudder. I don't have to keep saying, I can add a verbal cue. Let's go to the left, go ahead to the bathroom, whatever. But I can match it. She would don't say bathroom. With the rudder. Where her hand goes, her body to go with. Using everything we know about how the brain works. And they still feel like they're in charge. I'm making decisions. Not you telling me what you are. Are we here? Yes, that's right. This is unbelievable. We're so impressed with our time. All right. Don't forget happy hour. Oh, happy hour, happy hour. So we're about to move on to talk. We've kind of talked about dementia just generically, dementia, but there's a whole lot of pieces to it and what it looks like when the brain failure first starts versus when it's at the very end. So far, what we've talked about in brain changes is how to adjust and adapt. Anything sticking out to you, any questions you have, anything that you're like, that does not make sense. You guys will start cleaning that shower. That's what you're So she's in the shower. You guys are assisting her. And is that disruptive? I mean, is she distracted by it? Is it disturbing her? Or is she supposed to be bathing herself? Are you bathing her or is she bathing her?
And then she'll be over here, and she'll go down, and then the way she goes, you know, the really goes to the shower down. That's when she gets the food down, and then she gets the food. How can we do the weekend at her and also for us? Okay.
Right. So she's a great person. Bring her to my house, first of all. But it's looking at, so what does that tell us? The situation you gave us, the scenario you gave us, and the brain. So what do we think is going on? One, it's an old habit of I clean the shower. Old habit of it. Does she ever get to meet that unmet need of cleaning?
Well, she has been, you know, because everything was well, you know, at that time, I don't really need to really, I will let you know, around to her. And this intention has been funny, because I've been really what to do, over the long. And now she's going to take her street and that. But, you know, she's also,
so she has a very strong memory, Lord, I don't know why she does, of cleaning the shower. I know, good Lord, I know. Does she ever get that need? I want to clean the shower. You just told me.
So with everything you're saying on how to do all this stuff with the clients, how can we use your program
Right. Right. What are other people hearing when I keep asking? She has the weirdest right amygdala desire of I like to clean a shower. And I'm asking, does she ever get that unmet need met? cleaning the shower. Cleaning, if that's where your struggle is, and this is what she's doing, am I ever giving her a chance to meet the need? So when we get in the shower, the first doggone thing, woman, you get in here and clean the shower, it's filthy. Meet my need. Meet my need. Because you're not going to get your agenda done until I get my agenda done. You're not going to get past it. Until I get my need met, I don't care what you want. You want to get me clean, that's your agenda.
That's her base, that's the clean shower first, and then do the baby. And then it's the cleaning of the shower.
So now we're right. So we're looking at multiple things because here's the first thing. Human beings are complicated. And the brain is even more complicated. So it's taking a step back and looking at this. I'm not seeing a behavior. I'm seeing expressive communication. She's expressing that she wants to clean. I already got the same history. She's always in the shower. How can I meet that need? Now the next thing is I know about the brain, and I know in the executive control center, there's initiation, sequencing, termination is what she's struggling with. I keep doing it. I don't know how to stop. You need support and knowing how to stop and transition. Oh, great job. Oh, perfect. Nice. Hey. Did you know hand under hand before this? Okay.
And I've actually, my mom, and I have done that, and everything she did, and I did do that weekly later, and just,
So you,
not that.
not that, so that's right. So now you have a new tool. So when we go through training, I have no doubt that you can give me one lady story, you can give me another lady story in the same bathroom, and they're all different. And it's the nuances of who I was before, it's the nuances of where I am and my brain changed. It's the nuances of how you perceive the relationship with me versus when you're helping her in the shower. This is what training does. This is what you want to get from every training. If you go to any training and they say, just do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're good to go, walk out. Walk out if they give you some easy steps. You go to training to get tools. You were building your own house. I got a screwdriver. I got a hammer. You already had some pliers. You already had a circular saw. This is for the men who are in the class. And so it's like, I get into a situation, I'm trying to help somebody. I got my tool belt. Okay, trying to get you in the shower. How about this? Nope, doesn't work. I gotta go back to Home Depot. Sorry, I'm from Atlanta. I gotta go back to Home Depot and get some more tools. All right, last time all I had was some pliers and a screwdriver. Now I got a flathead. Let's try a flathead. That's what training is about, tools. Because here's the other thing. Woohoo, this flathead worked. Just use the flathead. Guess what happens if I come back tomorrow? Doggone, flathead doesn't work. Tools in your tool belt. That's what you want. So one of the things you're telling me is that I tried to let her meet her needs. I tried to help her transition. I tried to help redirect them. But you know what? I didn't have hand under hand. It's a new tool. I don't know. This lady has moved on in the progression of her dementia. But now I got a flathead screwdriver. I wonder where I'm from. That's your goal. That's your goal. And it's looking at, can hand under hand keep us more engaged in bathing versus that being a passive experience for them? And if it's passive, then, well, I'm going to do something. And so I will figure out what to do. Anytime. A flathead. Yeah, let me get her back here.
What if she got me?
Exactly. Maybe it's one of these. We start with 5 physical unmet needs. We start with 5 emotional unmet needs. And we explore. And we become detectives. And we start digging more into it. I tried that. It didn't work. Maybe I've got the unmet need wrong. Maybe it's a sensory change that happens with showers and dementia. And so all of a sudden the shower starts feeling like needles on me. Yeah. It could be trauma. It can be past sexual abuse. It depends on who I have in front of me. What I explore as a care partner, it's a dance. I try this. What kind of feedback do you give me? Not behavior, what's the feedback? When I'm trying to get your story, am I right or am I wrong? Nope. Let's try it this way. Nope. Okay, 2 steps this way. Exploring sensory motor, exploring emotional. Did you see my, was that it?
A lot of the, I guess, the partner and one of the things I'm trying to learn, it all is about
You're getting support.
And based on so huge is trying on the
Yeah. Which is how we started with ourselves. What did you notice in another person on how accurate you were of their story? Because that's what we're doing with people in movement. How accurate am I? And that this is what's working for you. This is the way it's done. And I adjust based on what you give me back. It'll never be a just do 1, 2, 3. No. No. But the more I know about the brain change, the more I know about a person's history and what they like, what they don't like, their trauma, it gives me a place to start. Yeah. What do you want, Doc?
Well, I was going to suggest that she might do better if the cleaning was separated from the bathing. So to get in the shower with the clothes on, to do the cleaning motion that she normally did, great job. Now we're going to take the clothes off and go in the shower for a real shower.
Exactly.
And they see very different behavior.
Exactly. And so where at one point we hit a wall. I've tried all I can. I don't know what else. Now I'm getting new ideas, new perspectives. Bathing towels are amazing when it's a sensory thing. I don't have to be butt naked to be in the shower. It's hard to get my clothes off. Get me in the shower. Ooh, you are wet. Who likes to be in wet clothes? Nobody. How'd your person with dementia all of a sudden start taking their clothes off because they got wet? Well, not for you. That's what I'm going to do with it. You don't like the sensation of the shower? Lay a towel over me. You're modest. I don't like being naked in front of a stranger, 2 people, because I'm a 2-person instance. Cover me up. There's all kinds of things. Bathing, one of the hardest challenges, because I'm so vulnerable. It's just going back to like my eyes are closed, my hands behind my back. I have never been so vulnerable before. You're fully dressed and in charge, and I'm naked and wet. Good. All right. We ready? We're ready. What are you doing? Oh, you're busy over there. Yeah. So we're going to look at the progression. How do we hang on to the person, understanding the brain changes that are happening, and never forgetting what a person still has, what's retained. So people looked at the different ways people identify progression of dementia. Started off with the global deterioration scale. I think started off with Alzheimer's scale. It was just pretty low. Mild, moderate, severe. There you go. That should cover it, right? People are like, a little bit more complicated, a little more nuanced than that. Then went to the global deterioration scale, which was 0, 0, 1, 1 to 7. Numbers are hard for me. 1 to 7. The higher in numbers you got, that meant the more deterioration. Oh, the more you're 7, the most pitiful thing ever. You should take care of it. All right, diggity dog, you're good. You go along. You don't need to go behind that locked door. Values, numbers. Then this woman, Dr. Allen came along, and she came up with this cognitive disability. And she was like, look, let's not just focus on the flaws, but let's see what the brain changes are that are happening. And so it's a little bit of response, a little bit of what's retained. And so she came up with this number system of 6, you have a lot of cognitive ability, and 0, good Lord, you're in a coma. Now, we got global deterioration, Allen cognitive theory. Let's go out here and start assessing. Okay, so that is a 4. Is that good or not? Is she early or is she late? What's down? What kind of I just wrote it down here? Numbers get confusing, especially when you're in different order. So now we're not even communicating well with each other. We don't even have cognitive impairment. And it's like, wait, we split. Oh, we're using something new now. You couldn't figure out which way it went. And even when you did, there was always value linked with it. And if I put you at a 1, and that means you're at the very end stage of your dementia, I can look at you with pity. Because you're only a 1. And when I pity you, I can't have an authentic relationship with you. And I will always end up doing it to you. Because it's so sad in where you are. Well, heck, we just spent how many hours trying to value the person in a relationship and seeing what they still have. So people said, throw out numbers, they don't work. They're valuated. They're going in opposite directions. We can't communicate well with each other. Now she's an OT, or she is an OT, so she liked Allen cognitive theory. And she said, I like it, but it needs to be tweaked. I need to be able to talk in a way that we understand differences and changes, but it doesn't change the value and work of the person. What could that be? Ah, gemstone. What person doesn't like a gemstone? So, hot diggity dog, I got a ruby. Who doesn't mind being a ruby? Who doesn't mind having a ruby? I got rubies I'm passing out. Anybody want them? Yeah. Yes, damn, I lined up. Here we go. I ran out of rubies. Now all I have left, I am so sorry, is a diamond. I know it's not as pretty as a ruby. It doesn't have any stinking color and it is all jacked up. But would you mind just taking a diamond? They're completely different stones, completely different characteristics. But do they still have value? Yes. And so as a person going through brain change, no, I cannot do what I used to do anymore. But am I still precious and unique? Definitely. So she said, I can throw out gemstones, and all of a sudden, you no longer have an awareness of value. What's better, what's worse? Because this is out of order. So they all look great. 6 gemstones. Sapphire. First gemstone, no cognitive change. Now, Tifa did this for people like me who need things simple and easy to remember. And a sapphire is what color? Blue. Okay. And there's this old saying called being the true blue friend. So what does that mean? For the older people, what does it mean to be a true blue friend? Please don't let me do that. There is anything thick and thin. You can count on that friend. And guess what? I can count on my brain. It's reliable. I put information in it. It can accurately process it and make a decision. No cognitive impairment. My brain is my true blue friend over here. The other 5 are on this end. Only a sapphire can support all the other gems with brain change. None of the others can. The next one is diamond. And a diamond is what? How do you describe a diamond? It's sparkly, it's clear. How do you know a real one from a fake one? It cuts flat, it's hard, it's rigid. Beginning of my brain change. And I'm no longer flexible, I'm not adaptable. I'm stressed out. Diamonds are made under pressure. And that's how I go from being a sapphire to a diamond. My brain gets under pressure. It may be fatigue, it may be because I worked a double shift, it may be because I'm hungry, and so all of a sudden, y'all just let me alone, just everybody get out of my office. Until I can return to sapphire, and the stress is off of me, or the pressure is diminished, and it's permanent brain fatigue. And so don't ask me to be adaptable and flexible. I can't, I'm hard on me. I can still shine though. Diamonds are still beautiful, as long as I'm in my familiar routine. I can shine. The next one is an emerald. Can you tell the difference between a diamond and an emerald? Yeah, I don't know. You're a gemologist to tell that. Yeah. Diamond is harder to tell. Can you tell a real diamond from a fake diamond? Hard to tell. I don't know if that's just the way she's always been. I don't know if it's personality. I don't know if she's just depressed because her husband died. And that's why she's so rich. People don't get diagnosed with the diamond stage. You can't tell a real one from a fake one. Because some people are just naturally. It's my personality. We can go diamond all the time. We get in flux. But we don't have to mention it. I'm still driving. Emerald, obvious difference. I see green all over the place. Here's the thing about emerald. In nature, the most valuable ones are always flawed. Only man-made emeralds are perfect. And they're worthless because they don't have a flaw. As an emerald, when I change to green, my flaws show. I can no longer color. I'm not aware that something's wrong. I'm not aware I'm saying the wrong things. I'm not aware I'm doing the wrong things. And so now you clearly see something's going on. This is where I get diagnosed. And this is when you start pointing out all my flaws. Let it go. I'm an emerald. That's the way I'm supposed to be. Then I move on to an amber. An amber is a unique gemstone made out of tree sap. It's the only one that's pliable, you can heat up and soften. And what happens is that tree sap comes out, it catches on something, an object, and it hardens. And what happens is that object gets caught in the amber. And people are trying to kind of show you, like, well, what I have in my amber, you know, some fossil or whatever. Not my kind of gemstone, but it's valuable. This is what happens to me as an amber. I'm caught right here in this moment in time. I don't care about doing stuff. I don't want to go to work. It's about, I'm hot as hell in this room. I start stripping. I don't feel comfortable. I walk out the door. I'm tired of listening to you talk. Shut the hell up. It's about, do I like it or don't I? Are you a threat or not? Not about social appropriate. I'm caught in this moment in time. Don't tell me this is good for my health, and that's why she says take my medicine. I don't care. You take that. This is where caution is required because I don't care about the consequences. I just do. Then we move on to a ruby. And a ruby is dark and rich in color, deep red. And that red symbolizes stop and attractiveness. And what stops here are those fine motor skills. That's what I lose. My brain can't move to where I lose fine motor skills. I lose it in my eyes, lose binocular vision. I lose it in my mouth. I lose it in my hands. The contractures start coming in, curling up. I lose it in my depth perception, my walk. I'm your fall risk. I'm your choke hazard. You've got me on that nasty puree food. I can't stand. Freaking liquid. I don't care if you call it solid. It's just nasty. That's what you're giving me. And because I lose that, you stop seeing what I still have. And I still have gross motor strength. I still have music. I still have rhythm. You want a rhythm move? Dance. Don't tell me the mechanics of walking. Dance with me. Phenomenal. And then at the end is a pearl. And a pearl is found in a shell. And how pretty is that shell? It's ugly. It's a hot mess, and so is my body. The shell is my body. And we get distracted and we think this is the gem. This is the shell. It's dying, it's ugly. My brain's dying, I am in complete system failure. My body is shutting down, turning off. no longer about my needs, my desires. Closing that. The gem, what's precious and unique, is deep inside. It's the pearl inside of the shell. I'm still in there. I'm still that sapphire that you first took. I'm just different. I'm behind the shell. And if you take your time with me and you go slow, you might get a glimpse of the shell opening up and get that connection where Kathryn's talking about the lady she could care for. And you get eye contact, you get a little smile, you get a little lean forward, and you realize there she is. She's still there. The person I remember through all the other dip states. And then the shell closes. But that's okay, we let the shell go. The shell is not what we say. It's what's inside. The person, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, that's what you focus on. That's where the truth is. So Tifa took that and said, if I talk about people in gem states, how quickly does your perception change of how you see me? And being able to still partner with me versus looking at me with pity and just doing too. So what we're going to do for the last hour is go through and bring these gems to life. And we have our lovely Kathryn. And as we go through it, I want us to look at what you're noticing. What you notice about her visual regard, what she sees, her speech, her comprehension, how much language is going on there, what's retained, what's changing. Sensory motor skills. What's happening there? That good old executive control center. What is she still able to process? Primitive brain. Where is she in her amygdala? Communication. There's an unmet need going on. What is she trying to tell us? How is she expressing? I told you that's a lot. This is a person. It's not easy. But it's looking at not just the behavior, just like, what is she doing wrong? What do I need to stop? It's, what do I know? How can I be better? So are we up to it? We're skipping sapphire because hopefully you've seen a sapphire all day long. Here's the thing though. Some of us are getting tired. Some of us are getting uncomfortable. And we're flipping to another gem state. We're changing gem state. Not just for today, but for today. I get diamond in the airport. Yeah. We'll go to diamond. I'm ready. All right, here's our diamond. Give me space. You know what I like. Excuse me. Are you in charge? Yeah. I'm in charge. What's wrong? I gotta go call my son. Your son, we're about to get ready for an activity. So my Kathryn, just coffee. Calm down. That damn coffee is so cold. I'm calling my son because my son's gonna come over here. I'm gonna pass off with it so he can see how cold it is. Have you ever seen a diamond? I know. And how many people look at like, oh shoot, that's me. A diamond. So what did you notice in Kathryn? She likes hot coffee. She likes hot coffee. That's a big one. Is that where's she in her amygdala? Is she happy? Is she lying? She's mad. She was able to make her need known. And her need is what? Hot coffee. You picked up someone to pay attention to her. She mentioned her son. She's lonely. Going back to those emotional unmet needs of who needs their son to come all the way down here to get me some hot coffee? She's born, I might drink it with him. She was showing us full out anger. And that's what we caught. It's about coffee. Let me fix the coffee for you, Kathryn. There might be more. It might be deeper than coffee. What else did you notice? What did you notice about her speech, her language? She was repetitive. She was in a loop. Was it fluid? It was elevated. Did she even have all her words? We got a diamond up here. Was she struggling sometimes even with her words? Yeah. Because when you're in your amygdala, language gets turned on. She's not able to pull the words as well. What about her sensory motor? She's struggling with any of her fine motor skills, gross motor skills? Nope, she's got it. Nice and strong and fast. 9-year-old woman looking fast. How was she expressing her unmet? Anger, loud, through language. Yeah. A diamond will express their unmet needs verbally. And when they like it, they're expressive of it. And when they don't, I'll cut you like a diamond. You're stupid, you're idiot, you're fired. I want authority. I want to talk to your boss. I express it verbally. So what do we do with the diamond? What do we do with her? She's not leaving. Validate. Validate. How do I validate? Huh? Empathize. Walk with her. Any other things I want to remember? No. You're throwing me in with a diamond now. Need her level of distress a little bit. Need her level. I better let this diamond know how important she is in it. She's about authority, and diamonds like to shine. So you know who I am. You know who my son is. All right, so they go there. I'm hopeful.
Yes. What is her name? I'm calling my son because your coffee is so dang cold all the time. And then his coffee is cold. Yes, the coffee is
That
cold.
is not right.
It is not.
That should not have happened.
Well, I'm going to call my son because he's going to come here and tell these people
I know your son is serious. He takes care of it.
he's in charge. He is a
Now,
real get to it.
Kathryn,
Yes.
do you want me to try to get you some hot coffee now? Or do you want to call your son? Get him involved.
I want the son involved.
Let's call.
What was different? And I know that this is afterwards, it's 50 pounds away, but
Do I look like this is the most serious thing happening right now? This is hurricane. This is what it's about. This is serious. I was like, this is the first time. And I gave her an option. Because maybe it is just about the coffee today. Maybe it's something more. I don't know. I'm exploring. If it's just about the coffee, she'll just take the coffee. If she wants something more, I got the door. But our diamond. Are you thinking about your diamond? How many people in here support people living in a diamond state? They were kind of like, whew, they're rough. They're rough. It's speaking to her amygdala and not trying to be reasonable and rational and logical with it. We can just pop that in the microwave, Kathryn. Not what it's about. Speak to what you still have. Now we're with our emerald. Angel. I was out of the
Can you help me? I'm looking for the box. It's the box. That's where he's.
What are you looking for?
He gave us the box.
The box? What are we just talking
No,
about?
it's not a box. It's a
Come on
box.
over
And
here and
he's
calm
in the
down.
box. He's in the box.
What did you notice in her? What did you notice about Kathryn? She's scared. Her speech. What's going on with her speech now? It's broken. Her vocabulary, comprehension, diminishing. Communication is becoming vague. The heck is she talking about? What are you talking about? Does it make sense to ask a person in brain failure? That an Emerald say. What are you trying to tell me?
If I knew how to say that, I could say
I
that.
want to say it the first time, idiot. That's what she wants to say to me. What about executive control, creative brain? What are you seeing going on? She's got an urgency. Anxious. It's a really tight loop. It's just about the box. I can't give you any more. It's about the box. Did you get anything out of maybe what I met you? The husband's in a box. That doesn't sound good, does it? Oh, boy. I might have a sad one. How do I score? How do I respond? Knowing the brain thing is what I'm thinking about. Can you show me? Being under here. Tell me about the box. Describe it a little bit. I want to get some more information. I'm exploring. I got some ideas in my head, but am I always where she is? Who the heck knows? I don't want to make an assumption. I'm still assessing with it. Hey, can you help me? I gotta get to the box. The man is in the box. Kathryn, the man is in the box. Yes, he's in the box, and I gotta get him. You gotta get him. Yeah. Yes, he's in the box. What do you do with the box? Tell me more about the box. The box, and it has the thing that does this, and then you do this, and then he helps me. Ah. You do this, and then who said ah up in the audience? What do you think it is? Cell phone. Where it's oh, cool. The 90-year-old woman in front of me. Oh, you want to call? Yeah, you want to. Yes, you want to call? Yeah, he's the one that helps me. You want to call your son or somebody else? My son, yes. You want to call your son. John. How did that go with exploring? Calmed her down. I gave her, how much time did I give her in explaining the box and showing the box? Because she was talking, she was showing. It took her a while. Processing speed changes as well. So as long as I see her moving forward in her description, she was like, this, I need to hang back. I'm like, okay, good one, just get to it. What the heck do you do? Processing speed. Give her time to get stuff out. Describe it, show me, tell me more about it. It's a caution, let's pull him back up. The coughing, your husband, coffee? You want a phone? You want to go to bed? Sometimes we start, when they're searching for words, we're like, I got all kind of words. Take one. No. Pull back, tell me more, show me. What do you do with it? describe it. Give me some more words, whatever you got. And then, okay, we were all like, it's a goal, we got it, hooray. We're just gonna call it. I know she has a son, but I don't know where she is in the world. Because at Emerald State, she could be calling her mom, she could be calling that dead husband, because she's time traveling. So I throw out an idea, your son, but I don't back myself in a corner, or somebody else. When you have an idea about something, keep it open. Even if we know it's your son Johnny, we may know her full story. Who knows if this brain is working accurately? If she has her own story right. You give them an option, you give yourself an out. Something else, somebody. When you're working with them.
Yeah. So you figured out what you wanted, but what if you can't do what you want? So you can't call Johnny because Johnny's at work and he has an important job.
And
he
we've
has
already
already told you
3 times
stop
today.
calling you. So now what do you do?
So now why does she want to call herself? I'm lonely. Well, I'm bored. Well, I'm feeling abandoned. I'm feeling loved. There's an unmet need underneath it. It could be an emotional one. It could be a physical one. I may not be able to give you the direct one, but I can give you companionship. I can give you a sense of love. I can take you to your son in your head. You're looking for your son. Yeah, Johnny. Johnny. Oh, he's a good boy, isn't he? Yeah. Oh, handsome. Ooh. Ooh. Like his daddy. Just like his daddy with that dark hair. Oh my gosh, you got good face there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I was talking before. That was your mama's book. What did he used to help you with? Oh, he was crazy. He probably was the, outside. And, oh, yeah. And he was picking up food. Oh, outside. With flowers? Yeah, oh, you know one thing. Kathryn, I've got something to show you. Please come out and tell us where I'm going. So here's that. Does it happen that easily, quickly? No. Are we on time crunch? Yes. But here's the thing. Everybody knows about redirection. The part we skip is the putting into the world and validating. We're too quick to, you want to come and call yourself, let me show you some flowers over here. Slow it down. It's all right. You're looking for your son. Tell me about it. You know a little bit, go a little bit in the story and check it out. You don't know where her son is in her memory right now. He may be 5, he may be 55. I give you a little something, tell me more. When I find a nugget that I feel like I can take that and move it a little bit further over here, I take it, I try to run it. Is it always smooth? No. You might try to get some flowers. Screw them flowers. Not that woman. Screw those flowers. I'm an idiot. Let's slow it down, back up, scratch that nose 3 times. Have you ever had to say that before? Like, I'm just an idiot. What was I talking about? Son, oh, that's your husband. You got to go where they are. Put the mistake in. But yeah. Reality orientation. Lying. That's not what it's about. I can't fix your brain, so I can't get into reality. And if I lie to you and I mess it up, or you pick up on some cue from me, I can tell you're lying. You've told me that before. She actually remembers this time I told her to come back in 5 minutes, and she comes back, and I still can't meet her needs. I now left her with an emotional memory about me. That I'm a liar and I can't be trusted. And she will hang on to that. She will hang on to the emotional memory. But if I focus on the emotions that's driving the work, I can always be authentic. I know about love. I know about loneliness. I can be right there with you. Whether your son is alive, whether he's alive, whether he's dead, whatever. It's an emotion, you know, stuff like that. Now we're at our end. I'm an amber, my speed is processing is a little bit. Not you, not you, not you. Kathryn, what are you doing? Idiot. What's the birthday you're like? Who's an idiot? Came out from behind. What the wrong with from? Big boys. Yeah, I want to do it. Birthday coming up from behind. What do you know about that? She's at binocular vision. Like how you're an amber, you're at binocular vision. She was actually there as an emerald. When she moves into amber state, she still has binoculars, but she's about to lose object use of it. She still sees things in that binocular line of sight, but I don't know what to do. Did I know that I was necessarily touching the person? Oh, no. So what did you see with language, sensory motor? What does she still have? So she's reacting to sound with touch. Started off here. How was she doing walking around? Getting around? Not bad. She's not bad at all. So she still has a lot of her sensory motor stuff. She's able to move around balance. Do you think she lost depth perception or anything else? Yeah. So when you were in your binocular vision, how did you walk? Because I'm trying to see where I'm going. And so it's a cue of it's not necessarily losing depth perception yet, but I'm in binoculars and I'm looking for stuff. I'm walking. And if I just look out here, who knows what I'm with it. So she's still pretty good there. She has a lot. She has a lot of ability. And her language, when she found people in Florida, what did you get? So what do we think? What do you think she's expressing? We'll get somebody. And I'm looking for them through touch. Where your diamond is communicating unmet needs through language. Your amber is going to give you a lot through touch. Soft touch, hard touch, whatever. So to go in there and try to explore more with her, or you just look up to somebody and we knows touch it. What do I want to do? You know the first thing. What's the first thing? Come from the front. Yes, because I'm like, okay, I gotta walk all the way around. I better come to this side. I get permission. Anything else that you remember? Hang on to this. All right, don't leave me in their code. I got it. I know we come from the front. Yeah, but But I mean, you have people saying like, it's so loud because not about hearing loss. You can have hearing loss on your own. What happened? Why didn't you see me? Looking down, and where was I coming from? Too much to the side. Too much to the side. And so you learn, you're like, oh, look around. You're pretty too.
I know.
What changed? I got her attention because I got more in her line of sight, came from the front. I took her hand, and did I just shake her hand? I gave her hand, but I got in the hand of her hand. What was that? Ambers are all about sensation. And that amber will get a good sensation. And start pleasing. Out of distress, out of happiness for connection, finally, because she's getting any other physical connection from anybody else to explore. No. So it was like, whoa, I finally got human contact. Please. I know she's in distress. Please away. What was the next thing? I tried to match it visually. Now, I have verbal diarrhea. And I said, Kathryn, I'm not supposed to talk that. Don't talk. And I still felt like I talked that way. Your amber, let language go. You better be using a lot of visual and touch with your amber. It's gone. Because how much was she giving you in language? Not much. That's your cue of if I get a little bit back, I only can give a little bit. So we got here, and what did I do? What did I try? Started breathing. And I didn't say, Kathryn, what I learned in class, take some deep breaths to help. Very dramatic. Because she's watching. And I mirrored her, and now she's mirroring me. Before we even move, before we even try to start solving the problem, just, I can't do anything to your movement. Now, when we started walking, her language changed. At the end of the day, I know I am. Wow, that's a lot of language for somebody who only gave you not yet. Automatic social chit-chat is on the right side. Don't let it fool you. Hey, how you doing? So nice to see you. How are the kids? Tell me about the family. Oh, it's a beautiful day. What do you want to eat? I don't know. That's process. That's formal language. Social chit-chat? How often do you just say like being courteous to people? Oh, look at the baby, so cute. Small talk. Have you ever gone to the doctor with somebody? And all of a sudden they're like, no, and you're like, this is not the person that I live with. Oh, hello, doctor, so nice to see you. Oh, yes, everything's great. You're like, yeah. Typical and right. When families come to visit, the out-of-town families that come and see mom versus the primary, adult child at the home, or going to the community. You come for the holidays. What do you talk about? Social chit chat, the good old days. Mom can do that all day long. And then they go and they're like, I don't know why you're so worked up over mom. That's because you're talking on this little light fluff inside of you. Ask them a question that requires process. When they're gone, when the holidays are over, when the big activity's over for the day, what happens to all that chemical that I was burning extra hot? They crash. And now I'm even below my baseline. I need it. My amygdala goes up even faster. I can't talk. I can't do anything because I'm exhausted. My brain is working so hard in that moment. I understand. You can't just tell your sibling, this is not mom. You just say, stay it. Let them express it with communication direct. So she gave me a little social. The amygdala comes down. Now we can try to work for on that need, giving her teaching from whatever it is. Yeah. Hey. Oh. Yeah. Oh, and you are my sunshine, my own sunshine. You make me happy. Want to go wrong again? Don't get it. I know, I didn't get a chance to hear it. Kathryn has a ruby. What do you notice in this? Where's her vision? Down. The change between an amber and a ruby is the monocular vision. I finally noticed it. So she's in a wheelchair here, so we don't have all our great problems. But she could just be in the wheelchair. I don't know if you can see my feet. It's on my hip. Curl it up, scoot on down the hallway. Focus on something on the ground. And pulling alongside. Your amber, when they're moving through the environment, they'll go in and out in between. They'll be able to navigate inside the environment. Your ruby, the perimeter, with the lack of depth perception, the wall anchors me. That's how I get stuck in corners. Can you see me? I can't figure out how to get it out. That's how, if I'm walking as a ruby, I'm kind of the one who's walking off the edge and you're hanging off the walker, trying to realign me. All these people that. So with her, how did I approach? Did I jump to a different approach? Straight ahead. Did I come in straight? Did I try to get her to see me here? No. Because what can she see out here? It's just a part of it. It's a random object or something. I came out here because I want to control what she sees. And it's my hand, and we're trying to connect. And I just left my hand out there for her to discover it, and not Kathryn. It's always when I'm in control. She's already exploring. Let me just be in her line of sight with her. As she works her way up to see a person, she recognizes me or not. And it's always a happy, hey. If Kathryn is at a Ruby state, bending over trying to pick something off the floor, whether it's there or not, or she's trying to stand up and she's your huge fall risk. It's not the Kathryn, stop. That's our amygdala going on. You ever see that? You got a wobbly person, I'm way over here. Oh my gosh, sit down. What happens when somebody shouts? Oh! It's a calmer, happier, surprising that up. Hey, coming in here because I want to catch her lines back here. I don't want her to jerk up. I got to be flexible and get down. So how did I connect with her? Did I talk about how pretty she was? Music. Music. How I match my rubies, how I connect, how I help them transition through being in a bad place emotionally. Connect to music. And getting in the hand of the hand. When I'm at my ambers and my rubies, I'm helping music fingers or hands to initiate, to be people of path, help with sit stand, comfort. Last one. So how do we want to approach that as a pearl? All right, well, hey, just throw it out there. Let's just see what sticks. Throw it out there. We got to get in there. So we understand with the pearl, there's a loss of visual regard. I'm not blind, just disconnected from the environment around me. So if she does have any kind of visual regard, we'll get there. But a lot of times they don't. So I'm going with a verbal cue and a touch with it. And it may be Kathryn, but there's not much response, reaction from it. So where do I want to touch? And we want to touch on a joint, and it might be a shoulder with it. What we didn't get more into with, and she's contracted, so it'll work this way. My hand is closed, is that the intimate zone of a person is anything within arm's reach, which usually ends up with your knees. When I get in here and I have to get closer to you, I'll hear it knees. Knees can sometimes be safer than shoulders. Shoulders always remain in intimate space, no matter where I am. But when you're looking at people laying and they're sleeping, and you can't get a visual of people someone's sleeping, they're snoring, they can't hear you, and you have to just touch, it's trying to touch outside of intimate space, but this is still good. But obviously I know my hands are closed like that. And so with here, it's not a light touch. Frequently we look at our pearl, it's so delicate, and we don't want to hurt them, and we give this light moving touch. And that's exciting for the brain. That sends off an alert, like, what is that? What's going on? There's bugs on it. The brain doesn't like light touch. It likes firm pressure, open hand. So with your pearl, you actually want to give firm pressure. If you do the open hand versus your fingers, you don't worry about bruising. You give them solid contact so the brain can figure out what's going on. And it goes slow. Now here, the way I'm set up is I'm trying to be as far out of her space as possible, because if she does make eye contact with me, I don't want to be right there like, are you okay? My arm here is a real barrier, but it helps kind of keep that line between that's your space, that's mine. I'm not crossing over until you're okay with it. And you're gonna adjust these things. You're not gonna approach every pearl like this, but it's just different tools you can be aware of. She has a high amygdala reaction. I want her to be as calm as possible when I do finally make a connection with her to get permission. She's got some pretty severe contractions going on in her hands and her body. Brain failure is going on. What the brain does is it turns on muscle groups as it dies. I can't keep up with all these muscle groups. I don't turn them off, I turn them on. That's how contractions happen. They overpower the muscles that aren't turned on. Am I going to get in hand under hand with a pearl? No, I let it go. But I still want to get connected with her. Key with a pearl is to always have one point of contact as I move around her body, do whatever here. I want to get closer. She's aware now of contact. I substitute, replace my hand because I'm trying to come up here. Oh. Comfort, firm pressure over the palm. Massage to relax the muscles, to feel connection. Here is where it's a low, deep voice. Next voice, good morning. Bring it down, ladies. Bring it down to a deep voice. Okay, what am I going to say about voice? Oh, music prayer. When I'm doing care with the pearl, and I gotta take care of the shell, I want to keep the shell at least okay until the pearl moves on. I'm aware of how the contractions are happening. Muscle groups come in and up. Typically when we do care, we pry open to get in there because we don't want shaping, we don't want skin breakdown. So we pry open the shell. First, working with the muscle groups. The muscles are going in and up. I clean by moving the arm this way, and I clean. I clean from behind, moving the legs up this way, versus prying your pearl open. And how to take care of that shell. It's still gathering the pearl inside. How you need a pearl. Here we go.
Hurry up, I'm
Very.
stuck that way.
So as we look through it and try to put all the pieces together and put them into a person. Did you see Kathryn, what did you see Kathryn's unmet needs through the different states? Different states. It is. It gets harder and harder because they give you less and less. A diamond gives it to you verbally. Your emerald loops, when you see them starting to move, it's like, oh, something's going on. If they can't just tell. And amber is impulsive with their unmet needs. They do it. They search for it. They run from it right away. They're still able to seek out to get used to that. Your ruby is retreating. They're losing the ability to be frequently at that stage. In this person, you overlook them. They sit in the chair all day long. They lay in the bed all day. They're not bothering anybody. They're not moving. But will you have to eat? You don't want to eat anything until you back. Kind of thing. Versus this who is getting explore. And your pearl, you can't meet the unmet. It's about letting the shell go. That's one person through the entire progression of dimension. Same unmet need. Disconnect. Loneliness. She used to be able to yell at you and tell you, I'm calling my son to talk. And now she's a girl. And it's being able to appreciate it all these things. So what do you think? What did you take away from looking at a person move through dementia in 30 minutes?
Positive the whole thing. Learn whether I look at what's coming up and not, embracing people with what's
So, I mean, dementia is ugly. We're not denying that at all. It's ugly. But it's still my mother. So help me figure out a way to take this journey with me. The gyms are a beautiful way to talk with families. When you're trying to help a family understand, this is not my mother, this is not my father. He would never say things like that, do things like that. Okay, we understand. We have a beautiful emerald. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you how to get the right environment, the right setting, the right amount of care to your dad and shine. We're going to help your dad shine. Here's how you can help your dad shine. First, this is really ugly. You have got to get them to stop touching your leg. It's a powerful tool to help us through this journey. Now, when we need to grieve, when we talk about families, we always talk about denial. Oh, they're in denial. It's a grieving process. And every time a person moves to another state in dementia, the loved ones around them have to grieve. It's about, you need to grieve out here and get your own sapphire to support. Because when you come to support somebody living with dementia, only a sapphire can help all the other things. You can't help as a care partner, whether you're a family, whether you're a staff person that's just trying to push through, and I'm going to carry this all on my back while most of the staff aren't doing anything. We all burn out, we all get tired, we all get fatigued, and we end up being down. Very rigid about what to do. You just do it exactly like this, and everything will be right. A diamond thinks taking care for the other two. They're right there with them. Only a sapphire. We all need time to recharge. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Well, we hope.
I learned a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, thank you. And a lot of it, sometimes it's just refreshing. It's kind of validation for ourselves. That's what I think works. And it's wonderful. And hopefully it might help clarify what you do work, so that now I have a tool to help give somebody else.
I'm giving my mother the good job and continually like,
Hi, Mom, I'm here.
oh, my girl.
Yes. And some of us are all one another.
Well, yeah, thinking about that is like, it's over here. And that was really, really good.
You want somebody to stop touching you, stop putting a spotlight on it. Well, we hope we haven't taken with Kathryn. You want to add anything? Maybe more time for questions. Oh. I know you have a question. Okay. So from what we did today, what are you going to do? What's one thing that you're going to do to become a care partner instead of caregiving? Just take a minute though. Everybody take a minute to think, and maybe we'll go around. One thing that you're going to try to become a care partner. All right, let's just go around the room. One thing. I can go back to yeah. So approaching and trying to get into their eyes. Instructions like you do again.
Yeah, it was totally unrealistic.
So being aware of the changes in vision and where they're, what they can't.
What I'm doing is year
Where you set it. How does it from practice?
I think also the hand over there, like the pressure.
Using the pressure for comfort, and for getting attention, connection. So you're going to slow down and recognize there. So introducing families into the dance so that they can start seeing their love home and feel pressure to be able to come. Right. They're not doing it on purpose. You use energy. Oh, this is gone. You gotta make it. Yeah, maybe that's fine.
Please, keep going. Just go on and on.
Which one do you start to practice? Slow down. Know your agenda.
We didn't do that.
Or no, it's just so. So vision awareness, the change in the vision. Yeah, all about.
It's about the nose.
You're doing it right. Of course. Hey, we're all doing the best we can. We're doing a lot right. But we can change. They're doing the best they can. We think that's the one. He's just being honest.
Generative.
Yeah. Well, they can look so much the same on the outside.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. But he's not doing it. I am who I was. I am who I was. And they want them to be who they want.
Yeah. My God, that's who she's gonna be. The team as well as the fans.
The technical term is verbal diarrhea.
It's also how, it's also,
Sorry.
no,
I didn't mean to throw you off.
point.
And that is what you tell by pre-show.
Go into your, you have to be willing as a care partner to be uncomfortable. Because maybe I have to try something new. You're sad by rain. It's the one that can go. No, I don't have to work yet. You can't understand things. Okay. I'm comfortable with it. People are looking at this one. Yeah, so that brings us that discomfort. I think all of it. I mean, we, a marketing construction, obviously, dance is super important. just note, all of you that are saying about the gym, people wrote a really simple, nice book called Family Study of the Guide, and it uses the gym. It describes all the gyms. And there are other resources on it.
And switch to the teachers.know website.
Yeah.
Because if this is your first exposure to gyms and everything, it's key for the person who actually created this model talking about it.
And do a store for the product.
Yeah. And how she applies the skills with real people in real settings. If you just want to get a little more things.
I should say, it's not the family, so we're gonna kind of educate that.
Exactly.
We're not really, all that kind of practice. You don't relate to it.
Just so you know, our company, Positive Approach to Care, we actually train trainers. We train people to do this. Chris is so excited. Yeah, we train people. We have trainers. We train people to be trainers. We train people to be coaches. To actually do the coaching on the floor of how do you do these skills and how to adapt. So you get a trainer, you get coaches, we coaches, we also do consultants, we have consultants who work to help fix challenges.
And then we do training just deeper in the skills where
Yeah, just
you want to try out hand in hand, we help each other eat, help each other.
yeah. Or we do this kind of thing for 2 days, and then we really dig in, work in the facilities.
And there's no happy hour after those trainings.
Well, yeah. But then on those 2 skills